Hey, we live now, really.
Hey, we live now, really? Really? What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode with yours truly. Whether you call me really Gemz, whether you call me really, whether you call me Maine, whatever you call me, just don't call me Collect. You understand me? But yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. I got one question for you. Just one question. It's for real. Just one question. Just one simple question. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold on. Can you see me? Are we live? Are we really live? I'm just asking for a friend. But yes, welcome in, my beautiful people. Hey, we back down like SmackDown. We back like we never left. And hey, for real, I got a real question. Did you miss me? Hey, we back in the building, man. How y'all doing tonight? How my beautiful people doing out there? Before we get started, man, you already know the drill. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the comments. Show your boys some love. All right. And make sure you already know the drill. Before we get started, make sure you're sending these gems. And when I mean these gems, I mean these gems to everybody, including your mom and your best friend, friend of another friend, Lit Johnny, Lit Timmy. Don't forget about Lil Susie, too. And don't forget about Lit Josh, who just moved across the street from Lil Susie and around the corner. All right. His cousin moved around the corner, but he moved across the street. You get the point. But make sure you're sending these gems to everybody. You understand me? But welcome in, my beautiful people. Welcome on in. Today, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, my friends. We got a lot to get into. We got a lot to talk about. And man, have you seen the news? Do you see what's going on around here? Have you been living under a rock? Do I need to continue? Do I need to continue to, kind of prove some people wrong? Do I need to continue to be one of the I ain't an internet investigator, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be getting down to it. All right, I just be wanting to call out the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's all I try to do is just get y'all the truth. So, with a lot of things that's going on, the first topic that we go get into, yes, I know you want to talk about Nolan Wells. I get it. I get it. All right, but before we get into Nolan Wells, we got to talk about that boy, Shedeur Sanders. Hey, I know you read the title, man. Hey, you know we got to talk about my guy. Come on, man. Is it really a Golden Gems episode if we ain't really, talking about Shedeur Sanders? I mean, come on. Shedeur is a whole algorithm. Oh my goodness, I can't even talk. Shedeur Sanders is a whole algorithm. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Shedeur Sanders was out here throwing dimes. Throwing dimes. So can we get into it? Can we talk about it real quick? Is that okay? Is that allowed? Before we get into any other topics, we got to talk about my guy Shedeur Sanders out here doing what he's supposed to do, out here balling, out here telling boys and putting everybody on notice that at the end of the day, we ain't gonna play with you. He ain't gonna play with you. I ain't gonna play with you. We're gonna tell you how it is, and I'm gonna make sure you know how it is. You understand me? But without further ado, let's play the first video. Shedeur Sanders out here balling. That's up to the kid. Dime. A dime. Let's watch it one more time. The new Isaiah Bond, that boy rocking. Hey, 00, aka number 0, aka that boy is a 007 triple agent. That's so Shedeur. My goodness, look at this. Drop back, scanning the field, looking right, looking left. Oh, we see him, we spot him. Straight dot right over the shoulder. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh my. Can we drop a bomb real quick for that boy Shedeur Sanders, already putting people on notice, already showing people what he's about, and already saying that, hey, if you want this starting QB job, you're gonna have to go through me. Let's drop another bomb for Shedeur Sanders for going ahead and putting people on notice, saying I ain't going nowhere and I'm here to stay. Let's drop a bomb for Shedeur Sanders, saying at the end of the day, I'm here, and I'm here for a reason, and I ain't going nowhere. Hey, that's a 5th round pick right there, man. Hey, where's Dylan Gabriel? Asking for a friend. Not for real. Where's Dylan Gabriel? Where is Dylan Gabriel? I'm just asking. No, I'm for real. I'm just asking. Because a lot of people saying this, a lot of people saying that, but Shedeur Sanders really out here balling. Shedeur Sanders really out here putting people on notice. Shedeur Sanders really out here saying that, hey, if you want to play, if you want to call, hey, y'all better go ahead. Hey, make sure you speaking facts on my name. SO to him. SO to him. So people are saying this, people are saying that. But this is also what people are saying about Shedeur Sanders in this quarterback competition. How do you feel about it?
I'm willing to give a leash of 3 or 4 for Deshaun Watson and probably 5 to 7 for Shedeur Sanders. That to me is a sample size. And Shedeur, how about 6 or 7? I'll even give him
6, 7.
With there you go. With how much with how defunct the operation was last year. I am not sitting here and saying week 1 in Jacksonville, whoever the starter is, they're fired if they lose, or if they look that bad. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I mean, it'd have to be god awful for me to start to jump into that. And, which could happen. Mm-hmm. It could happen for us to do a Kelly Holcomb week 2 when we beat the Bengals in that wild Battle of Ohio. But I would say 3 or 4 for Deshaun Watson. If it's repeat, what are we doing? What are we doing? We need to be learning about Shedeur Sanders at that point. But I'm saying for Shedeur.
So if we need to be learning about Shedeur Sanders, what is the whole point or purpose in playing Deshaun Watson? What is the whole point in playing Deshaun goddamn Watson? I am literally just asking for a friend. What is the point of playing Deshaun Watson? If you eventually want to see Shedeur anyway, why play Deshaun? Let Deshaun play during the preseason, dog. Let's see if he really got it during the preseason. You feel me? And at the end of the day, that's all we need to see is Deshaun in the preseason. What we need to see him during the regular season for? I'm just asking. For real. Ain't no need to see him any other time. Because at the end of the day, we know what's up. We know what's going on. You understand that? Ain't no need to continue to beat around the bush, bro. Ain't no need to continue to ponder. Ain't no need to say this, say that. No, say the facts. The facts is we don't need to see Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. If I'm being honest, what is the point of seeing him? If we really talking and having a conversation, Deshaun Watson, he's had his 4 years. He gave us 4 years of what? Not much. No offense to Deshaun Watson because I'm a Deshaun Watson fan, believe it or not. I loved him coming out of Clemson, but ever since he came out of Clemson, boy, it seemed like that was so long ago. You feel me? So, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, Deshaun, we want to see him do good. We want to see him, come and have a bounce back, but he ain't going to bounce back in Cleveland. All right? He ain't. He's not. Then you got people. Jason Lloyd is on the call. These are the 2 ultimate kids. I ain't gonna say it. I'm trying not to curse y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better for the audience. But let's listen.
Tom Monkey keeps saying 2 starting.
Talking to Jason Lloyd, by the way.
Quarterbacks. 2 NFL starting quarterbacks are on this roster, yet almost everybody around the league thinks they are 100% drafting one with their first pick next year. How do you think that is going to go with Todd Monken in this quarterback competition?
I'm fascinated to see it. I'm tired of talking about it. It's just been relentless, and there's been a lot of nonsense. So I'm glad that we're finally back in the field.
What's the nonsense?
What's that?
What's the nonsense?
Please explain.
No, we're not doing that. Listen, nothing's changed, right? Every time you have me on, we talk about this. Every time I say, if you're going to make me pick, if my options are Deshaun and Shedeur, I'll take Shedeur every time. I don't see any path to anything of any sort of future with Deshaun. So why even bother? Why bother? But I don't have a lot of faith in either of these guys. No, I don't. And I'm in the class that thinks they're probably drafting quarterback in 27. And it's up to Shedeur to prove everybody wrong on that. I don't expect Todd Monken to say anything differently than what he's already said. What do you want him to say? Boy, this is rough. Of course he's going to come out and build him up, and he should as the head coach. But, we'll see. Finally, we've gotten to the point where it's back on the field and these guys can compete, and we'll see how it goes. I have no interest in watching Deshaun Watson take another snap for the Browns. There's too much history. There's too many skeletons there. There's too much baggage. I thought they should have moved on from him. I don't want to hear that they couldn't afford to move on from with the cap. Yes, they could have. If the Broncos could figure it out with Russ Wilson, there was a path. They chose not to take it. He's here. Okay, fine. But it doesn't mean I want to see him on the field.
Yeah. And to be quite honest with you, Jason, I ain't gonna lie to you, big dog. I usually don't agree with nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing that you got to say, period. I never agree with anything that you got to say, Jason Lloyd. But Jason Lloyd, you made one good point. You've been saying everything that I'm saying. We don't need to see Deshaun Watson. Yes, we got love for Deshaun Watson. We do. We really do. And I do. But what is there to see? What is there to see? I just showed you. Shedeur putting in that work. Shedeur is that boy. Shedeur dropping dimes, putting it right in the bread basket, right over the shoulder. Please, that was a gift. But what more do we need to see from Deshaun Watson? Just saying, what more? What more? Somebody please let me know. Somebody please ring the phone. What else am I looking for with Deshaun Watson? I want the quarterback competition to play out how it's supposed to play out. But at the end of the day, if I'm really being honest, Deshaun, I don't need to see no more. I don't. I'm sorry. Fight with me later about it. Deshaun, we love you. We appreciate you. We really do. But at this point, my guy, ain't no more to say. Ain't no more to do. Ain't no more to talk about. We love you. We appreciate you, Deshaun, for everything that you've done for the Cleveland Browns, all 19 games. Even though you've been here for 4 seasons, damn near about to be going on 5. What have you done for me lately? That's what the NFL, that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game in the NFL. What have you done for me lately? And Deshaun, we've been waiting. And I think the ship has sailed. So Deshaun Watson, we appreciate you. Thank you for pushing Shedeur Sanders a little bit more. Thank you for motivating Shedeur Sanders a little bit more. Thank you for really going out here and saying, hey, at the end of the day, I ain't giving up. We appreciate you not giving up. But at the same time, if we're really being honest, if we're really talking about it, yeah. Shedeur Sanders has his competition won. Yes, we still got to wait till the preseason plays out. Yes, we still got to wait till the playoffs. But Deshaun Watson, people saying he a pawn. He ain't no pawn. But I guarantee you this, he's been pushing Shedeur Sanders. Todd Monken. He believes he got 2 quarterbacks. Todd Monken, a.k.a. Monken, because that's how you say it. I actually coached with his brother once before. Long story, but another story for a different day. Todd Monken. You got 2 starting quarterbacks, yes. But one of them we don't need to see. Maybe he'll get another shot next year. But this year, just Shedeur Sanders the wrong way with this young core, with this young squad. With a young Hara Fannin, young Quishon Junkins, who's going to be a whole bell cow for y'all. A young Casey Concepcion, rookie. Denzel Boston, rookie. Carson Swessinger over on the defensive side. Jared Verse. Denzel Ward. SO to Denzel. Oh, my goodness. Well, how did I forget this? SO to Denzel Ward. Getting a bag. SO to that Denzel Ward. Once again, getting a goddamn bag. That boy just got paid. And when I say paid, that boy got paid. Hold on. Let me. Is it okay if we stop for a second and talk about that boy, Denzel Ward? Denzel Ward just got 2 years, $62 million. 2 years, $62 million, with 50-something million guaranteed. That boy Denzel Ward. Hey. Beep, beep, beep. That's a brick short backing up, dropping some money off to him. Beep, beep. Hey, SO to him. They just broke the hey. A vet in the locker room. Much needed vet in Cleveland with this young core, this young team. A former Ohio State Buckeye, a goddamn former Ohio native. They keeping him around in the locker room for a reason. Be a captain and be a leader for the young guys. Show him the Cleveland way, so to speak. Even though it's going to be a new Cleveland way moving forward. But still, this is a great signing. Denzel Ward. Of course, one of the highest paid corners in the league, rightfully so. He's a top 5 corner, period, point blank. Denzel Ward, you deserved your money, my guy. 52 M's as a corner? Oh, my goodness. Guaranteed, too? 2 years guaranteed, $52 million. So that means that you sign your name on a data contract. Hey, Cleveland just love handing out these guaranteed contracts. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, Cleveland, I still got a little bit in the tank, baby. What position you want me to play? Hey. I'm just saying, how much y'all paying y'all water boys? Asking for a friend. But nah, that's on the Denzel Ward, man. Denzel Ward, he deserves his money. This means he's going to be around. A lot of people were speculating, saying that they were going to trade him. They were going to do this, do that. I mean, yes, they can still trade him, but they will be on the hook for 50-some million. So Denzel Ward is not going anywhere. Corners. This is them saying he's still a central piece moving forward in the future. Yes, he's had some concussion injuries and, small nicks here and there, but for the most part, he's been healthy mostly his whole career. So Denzel Ward. That's what you for getting your bag. Can we drop a bomb for Denzel Ward real quick? Can we drop a bomb for Denzel Ward? Getting paid, baby. Anytime I see a corner get paid, I love it. Let's drop another bomb for Denzel Ward. Let's drop 2, 3, 4 bombs for Denzel Ward for getting that bag as a corner. I love to see it, and I'm here for it. That's what the Denzel Ward, man. That's so to my guy. That's so to him. Hey, Denzel Ward, get your money, baby. Get your money. But more about this quarterback battle and Shedeur Sanders eventually, hopefully, potentially being QB1 for the Cleveland Browns this season.
ESPN NFL Nation Browns reporter Daniel Oyefusi with us now. And Daniel, you have a story right now on ESPN.com outlining the Browns quarterback competition. Got 4 names mentioned in that story. What should we expect once camp opens on Tuesday?
4 names. 4 names.
Yeah, Phil, the Browns quarterback competition that's going to extend into training camp this week is firmly going to center around Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. The 2 quarterbacks split first-team reps throughout the spring, and head coach Todd Monken was so impressed. He said he thinks he has 2 starting-level quarterbacks on this roster, but he's going to use the next couple weeks to decide who will start under center in week 1. And there's a big question for both these players. For Watson, who's 30 years old and now healthy from that Achilles tear that kept him out last year. Can he stay healthy? And does he still have the physical tools that got him that $230 million contract just a couple of years ago? Now for Sanders, we know that he can make the big play, but can he do the routine a little bit more? Here's the key stat for him from last year, 3.24 seconds. That was his average time to throw, and that was the longest out of 38 quarterbacks that made at least 6 starts in 2025.
Well, offensive line was horrible. When you're getting sacked and you're running for your life, I think you might hold the ball a little longer. Just saying. But let's continue.
And this coaching staff want him to play faster. They want him to get through his progressions a little bit quicker, and they think that he's been doing that over the past couple months.
And you know what the saying is in the NFL and just most sports in general? The saying is you see your most growth from year 1 to year 2. So the most growth that you generally see in a career, and the most growth you generally see just in, I want to say anybody, period, right, is that jump from year 1 to year 2. So let's see what Shedeur Sanders looks like in this year 2. This is year 2 for Shedeur Sanders. You make the jump from year 1 to year 2 is usually leaps and bounds. That's typically how it goes, because year 1 is a learning curve. It's an adjustment. Year 2, you kind of been there, done that. So you actually been around the block at least once. So you kind of know a little bit more of what to expect. And at the end of the day, you put your best foot forward. So with Shedeur Sanders, this being his year 2, as you can tell, and as Todd Monken has said, we've seen tremendous progress in him. The GM has said we've seen tremendous progress in him. So if we're seeing this tremendous progress, if we're seeing all this growth, that means at the end of the day, our young quarterback is coming along just well. And with our young quarterback, why not give our young quarterback a chance to continue to excel and continue to ball? Shedeur Sanders, he's that guy. He's him. Why not give him a chance and opportunity to continue to show people that he's him? Why not give him that chance and that opportunity? At the end of the day, let's show this down. This is a beautiful throw. This is a goddamn beautiful throw. Beautiful goddamn throw. God damn. This is what I'm talking about. Him and Isaiah Bond got continued chemistry from last year. Beautiful thing to see. Let's watch it. One more time. For the people right in the bread basket. Love to see it. You love to see it. That's also Shedeur Sanders, man. At the end of the day, first of many clips that we're going to be talking about, first of many clips that we're going to be seeing. And it's time, bro. It's time. It's time. And let's go back to this game. This is a game, and I actually caught this actual. I might have to show y'all this footage from this game. And then, of course, I will be in attendance. I will be flying back home to Chicago, baby, hey, to see the Cleveland Browns take on the Chicago Bears. So I will be in person for that game, and I will show y'all, of course, some live footage of that first game, because that's the first preseason game for Shedeur Sanders and for the Cleveland Browns. They're going against my Chicago Bears in Chicago. So you know I got to fly back home for the preseason game. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I get it. It's just preseason. Don't worry. We're going to be going to some old games during the season. We will go to a couple games in Cleveland. We will also be going to a few games in Chicago as well. This year, for this NFL season, I will be bringing you firsthand access. I will be taking videos and pictures and other things, and I will be sharing that with you on here. So, yes, the first preseason game that the Cleveland Browns are having will be in Chicago. The Cleveland Browns are playing the Chicago Bears. This is the first preseason game for both teams. And yes, I will be in attendance. So with me being in attendance, I promise you, I will bring you live footage. I will bring you photos. I will bring you everything that I have, everything that I can find. Here, let me just show y'all this. This is this I played Isaiah Bond? God damn it. No, it's not. Hold on. I'm gonna show it on camera. I'm gonna show it literally. All right. I'm gonna show it literally. All right, hold on. I'm gonna show it on here, obviously. Let's play it. All right, yeah. Him and Isaiah Bond. We just saw the connection during camp. Yes, that's Isaiah Bond. Yes, that's Isaiah Bond. Yes, that's Isaiah Bond. He's wearing number 0. So we just saw the connection during camp. And the connection from last season. Actually, yeah, I think this is a throw. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, here it is. Yes, this is live. Oh, of course I pressed the wrong button. Anyway, this is live. All right, this is from the Chicago Bears game. Shedeur, of course. Come on, man. Y'all know I went to the game. Let's go. They like, hold on, what you cheering for? Hey, everybody looking around like, hold on, what you cheering for? What you cheer? You in the Bears state? Yeah, I was wearing some Bears gear too, but at the end of the day, I should have put on my Shedeur's jersey. But yeah, actually, I probably should I wear the Shedeur's jersey going to my Chicago, my city stadium? Is that allowed? Is that okay? I mean, Shedeur want to, hey, Tom Brady retired, baby, so I need another quarterback. Man. And if Shedeur Sanders proves himself right, and the rest of us right, who's been watching him since he was in, college, it's going to get ugly for a lot of folks. A lot of people going to have to eat a lot of words. I'm just saying. That's what to Shedeur Sanders, though. I did want to show y'all that because, like I told you, I will be going to the game this year. During the season, I will be going to a couple of Cleveland games and a few Chicago Bears games. I will be flying in for those. And then I will be flying back to Chicago. Yes, I will be taking my head back to the Chi for the Cleveland Browns and the Bears preseason game. They play each other on the 15th, I think, of next month, if I'm pretty sure. So like in 2 weeks, I'll be flying out there, catching the quick flight. Yeah, and it should be fun, man. It should be fun. So I will have some live footage from that game, and I will be telling y'all everything that I saw, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I will be taking footage, of course. Like, come on, man. Come on now. Come on. Y'all know how we talking. Y'all know what's up. All right, you know what we talking about. All right. Yeah. Yeah. This is interesting. All right. How y'all feel about this take? This guy had an interesting take. Talking about Shedeur Sanders. Let's listen to it real quick.
He has to improve his accuracy, decision-making, and ball security in live situations. Keep the locker room on his side and stay close to Todd Monken. You know, Monken is the guy who recruited him when he was coaching at Georgia.
Facts. Talk to him.
And then he wanted to draft Shedeur last year in Baltimore. So this is
Come on now.
who sees what Shedeur.
Come on now. And then he seeing him up close and personal. And he like, hold on. This little motherfucker like to work. This little motherfucker know what we telling him to do. And he doing what we telling him to do. My assumptions are right. I wanted him in Georgia and I couldn't get him. I wanted him in Baltimore, but I couldn't get him. But now I got him in Cleveland. I signed the dotted line. Not only because I wanted a head coaching job in the NFL, but I signed that dotted line because I knew Shedeur Sanders was still on the squad. First round draft pick, in my opinion, should have won in the first round. First round talent. Let me say that. First round talent. Drafted him in the 5th round. Come on, bro. Y'all talking about drafting a quarterback next year? We know Cleveland got a quarterback. Oh, damn, my bad. I wanted to show y'all the rest of what he was talking about. My bad. Hey, all he had to say was give me a couple of talking points, man, and I had to hit it home, but I know he's going to hit it home. Let's finish.
Shedeur can bring to his offense. We've already heard from the coaches. He's playing better. He's getting them rid of the ball quicker. He's processing faster. He's doing all of it. All of the things that he was told he needed to work on, he's working on. He's been in Berea since January. Been diving into the playbook, doing it all, man. So he needs to just keep swimming. Just like on Nemo. Got to keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Keeps doing that. He's going to be QB1.
So, once again, he says in order for Shedeur Sanders to be QB1, improves his accuracy. I think his accuracy is good. I think, yes, he missed a couple of throws last year, but every quarterback misses throws from time to time. I believe Shedeur Sanders will prove to be one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL, and I will stand by that. I will stamp that. Decision-making. Yes, his decision-making with his 10 interceptions that he threw his rookie season, yes, he has to do better. Some of those were tipped. Yes, we understand that. But some of those was ill caused, and he threw it when he shouldn't have. So, yes, but he was a rookie. All rookies do that. Look at Caleb Williams in his rookie year. Trust me, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I experienced it. I felt it. But look what Caleb Williams did last year. If Shedeur Sanders can make the kind of jump that Caleb Williams had, the Cleveland Browns might be on to something. Keep the locker room on the side. I don't think that's going to be a hard thing to do. It's a young team, young core. They love Shedeur Sanders. They love everything that he stands for, and he's a quarterback that leads by example. He puts in the work, stays after practice, does the little things. Great locker room presence, great locker room guy. You don't think he's been trained by the greatest team player of all time in Tom Brady? I showed you the workouts of him working with Tom Brady in the offseason a couple days ago. Shedeur Sanders is like that. Come on, man. What are we talking about? He's had great mentorship. And yes, stay close to Todd Monken, duh. Him staying close to Todd Monken, giving him the horse head when he first arrived, showing up to the stadium when he first arrived, leaving vacation up in London, saying, hey, I got to go meet my head coach. This is my goddamn team. So, yes, the locker room is on his tat, and I believe behind closed doors, Todd Monken is on Shedeur Sanders' side. Because I believe Todd Monken, he recruited Shedeur Sanders, like he said, when he went to Georgia. That means he wanted him way back then. He wanted him not last year, this year before, during the draft when they didn't get him. So if we really having a conversation, Todd Monken likes Shedeur. The fact that Shedeur Sanders gave him a horse head, the fact that Shedeur Sanders has been around the environment, the locker room, definitely having conversations time and time again with Todd Monken. Todd Monken wants to see a young quarterback succeed, a young quarterback that he can continue to develop and that he can grow with himself as a new head coach in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, yes, it would be nice for him to be good. It would be a great thing for him to potentially be good as a veteran presence in the locker room and then as just a safety net for Todd Monken because he's a proven quarterback in the league. But we don't know what Deshaun Watson is. He hasn't played in a couple years. He only played 19 games in the last 4 seasons. Do I go, if it's close, do I go with an Asian, injured Deshaun Watson? Or do I go with a healthy, young, energetic, locker room presence, locker room guy? People love him. The momentum is building around Shedeur Sanders. Deshaun, yes, he's given him his opportunity. He's getting his opportunity. He's owed $40 million this season. So, yes, he's going to have his opportunity. But I think in the back of Todd Monken's head, he know who we want him to be. Because why not? Asante Samuels had something interesting to say about this. Let's hear about it.
Todd Monken said he won't be making a decision at quarterback until he sees his players in full pass and live action. So I think this is a good sign for Shedeur. The one area I want to see Shedeur improve is him playing with more urgency. I want to see Shedeur play faster overall, drop back in the pocket faster, getting the ball to the running back with a lot more urgency, execute screens with much more tempo. Everything has to pick up speed. Overall, this is how I can see Shedeur separating himself from Deshaun Watson. But on the other hand, we got issues with his teammate. And Jerry Jeudy is getting in the way of Shedeur Sanders being great, man. See, right? He threw up the 4, right? Hating, and in the chat, they was asking, who do you want to be the starter at quarterback in the chat? And as he threw up the number 4, that question was posted in the chat. So everyone, as he threw up the number, who do you want to be the starter at quarterback in the chat? And as he threw up the number 4,
you saw
that
the little
question was posted in the chat. So everyone is assuming that he's talking about.
But this is Asante Samuel. Yes, a Patriot native. He played for my Patriots. That boy was nice. All right. He came in clutch a few games for us. But Asante Samuel, I don't really like listening to his podcast. I don't think he's just not that well of a good analyst. He's not that good of an analyst. Let's say that. But I like him anyway. He's my guy. So we got to go ahead, watch his content. But
Deshaun Watson is his choice for the starting quarterback. I don't know how you hide from this one. He's on damage control currently right now, trying to explain that that's not what he meant. He definitely wants Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback. It's all starting to make sense. Sabotaging that's been going on, from dropping the passes, acting like Shedeur is doing what he's supposed to do. Jerry Jeudy is dealing with the amount of support and people that want to see Shedeur succeed. That puts the pressure on people like Jerry Jeudy and the wide receiver position. Some people can't handle pressure like others. Pressure really busts pipes. I don't understand Jerry Judy's perspective. Why would he want Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders? He's a much better receiver when Shedeur Sanders is at quarterback. So make it make sense. No one seems to understand the plan if Deshaun Watson becomes quarterback.
You can see the different percentages. Numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't.
So make it make sense. No one seems to understand the plan if Deshaun Watson becomes a starter moving forward. That would be great. But the reality is, he just isn't the same anymore.
He said it, not me, even though I've been saying it. But that's the fact, man. That's the reality. Yes, we would love to see Deshaun Watson come back and relive his glory days, relive some of the things that we saw when he was down there playing in Houston. But that's just not the reality. Deshaun Watson just isn't the same guy, and that's okay. What is the point of playing him if you have 2 first-round draft picks for next season. You have 2 first-round draft picks for next season. You have a boatload of, I think in total, the Cleveland Browns got like over 10 draft picks for next season, including 2 first-round draft picks. So if you have 2 first-round draft picks, if you're loaded to potentially take a quarterback for next year in the draft, why do you still need to see Deshaun Watson when you saw him for 4 years and he's only played 19 games? Yes, coming off the Achilles injury, coming off a shoulder injury. Yes, he's healed from those injuries. And yes, he looks like he's in prime shape and he's looked like he can potentially go make some noise and potentially do a thing or two. I love it. I respect it. And I'm rooting for him. But at the end of the day, there's no point in even throwing him out there. Let's see what Deshaun Watson can do on the goddamn bench. Holding the clipboard and just being ready if Shedeur Sanders get injured. Because Shedeur Sanders, he's a young guy. If it's close, if it's just like this, inch and inch, little by little, just a little bit of maybe Deshaun being better than Shedeur. You play Shedeur. You got a young core. Let that young offense mesh. Let that young core mesh and let them get it behind one guy. So that way you can see what you really have in this young team. And if Shedeur is a guy, it will just play itself out and he will continue to be the guy. He will just step into those rings like he stepped into them, in my opinion, already. But we shall see. I got faith in Deshaun Watson. I got faith in Shedeur Sanders. But I got more faith in Shedeur Sanders. So SO to Shedeur Sanders, man. I want to see you ball. I want to see you go out here and really do your goddamn thing. I want to show y'all this last topic on Shedeur Sanders before we just go ahead and move on. Actually, should we just go ahead and move on? Let me know in the comments, man. Y'all ready for some Nolan Wells updates? Because I got a few of them. Y'all ready for some Nolan Wells updates? Or is it okay if I get one more takeoff as far as things I have to do with Shedeur Sanders? Because you saw, man, Jerry Jeudy don't want that smoke. Jerry Jeudy don't want the smoke, baby, because he knows when Shedeur Sanders goes out there, there's more pressure on him to succeed and be the guy. Hey, don't run from the smoke, run towards the smoke, baby. Let us know. Last take from a caller and a speaker who call into 92.3 The Fan. I hate giving them the spotlight, but we're going to give him the spotlight just this one more time.
I think he's had an excellent spring, Anthony. I mean,
I think he's had an excellent spring. Who we talking about? Shedeur Sanders, right? Oh, okay.
Past 8 to 10 weeks, and really probably beyond that, really the past 6 months with, as a rookie player and particularly a quarterback, you learn a lot your first year. And especially if you don't start a full season, start 6, 7, or I guess you start 7 games, and you kind of go through the year. It's adjustment going to the NFL, and then you get a chance to catch your breath and say, okay, well, here are the things I need to work on. Here are the things I need to learn. And I think he did a phenomenal job this offseason. That really started in January and February. And then certainly as we got into having, real practices in May, his growth has been tremendous. So we're all very excited to see, Shedeur's, fall camp, preseason, things of that nature when we get into padded situations, live situations, less scripted, but his growth has truly been phenomenal. I think he's had an excellent spring.
His growth has truly been phenomenal. I think he's had an excellent spring. This is coming from the goddamn GM. Did you hear the audio? Do I got to turn it up for the people in the back? This is Andrew Berry, the GM of the Cleveland Browns. Let's play it again.
I think he's had an excellent spring, Anthony. I mean, the past 8 to 10 weeks, and really probably beyond that, really the past 6 months with, as a rookie player and particularly a quarterback, you learn a lot your first year. And especially if you don't start a full season, start 6, 7, or I guess you start 7 games, and you kind of go through the year. It's adjustment going to the NFL, and then you get a chance to catch your breath and say, okay, well, here are the things I need to work on. Here are the things I need to learn. And I think he did a phenomenal job this offseason. That really started in January and February. And then certainly as we got into having, real practices in May, his growth has been tremendous. So we're all very excited to see, Shedeur's, fall camp, preseason, things of that nature when we get into padded situations, live situations, less scripted. But his growth has truly been phenomenal. I think he's had an excellent spring.
His growth has truly been phenomenal. says the GM of the goddamn team. Excuse my French, but goddamn, is that a bad word? I know I'm trying not to curse y'all, but is that a bad word? Let me know in the chat. Anyway, that's the GM. The GM, the person who damn near runs everything behind the scenes, talking about Shedeur Sanders. The pressure is mounting. People are talking. The pressure is building. Shedeur Sanders will be that guy. Shedeur Sanders will lead the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs this year. Mark my words. He starts all season. It's up in Cleveland. It's up. Just saying. All right. That was my last take. Now can we get into some Nolan Wells updates? Y'all ready for him? All right. I did have some more NFL takes that I wanted to hit on, but at the end of the day, we can save them for later. Is that all right, Richard? Is that okay? All right. Anyway, Nolan Wells update. If you haven't heard, I know they were feuding the boat calls. I know that's going down right now as we speak. But it's a guy named Bart. Yeah, Bart. That people aren't talking about. Bart said that he was out of town. But Bart indeed was not out of town. Warren is caught here in a lie. So let's see what lie was Warren caught in. And let's see, why is Bart? Who is Bart? Why is Bart all of a sudden in this conversation? Let's find out. Nolan Wells update coming at you now. Hit the like button, hit the follow button. Let's get into it.
What boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt Pyron's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because
Nolan was on the 22 Triton. So Wyatt's boat coming out. He was on the boat with Wyatt. So if he was on the boat with Wyatt coming out to the island, how come he ain't leave on a boat with Wyatt? That's the answer. I mean, that's the answer. That's the question. But let's continue.
we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, hey, man, can you take your boat out? And he was like, yeah, well, my dad decided not to go, and I'll take the boat, and I'll take you and your friends. Of course. I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton. And then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton. And then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton. And then there was the rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat.
Right.
Well, then eventually my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out. Eventually Bart pulls us out.
But, Bart pulled y'all out. Why Bart go on Instagram? So this is around when the case first hit the internet, when people first started hearing about Nolan Wells. Bart took the social media and Bart said, hey, I just want you to know, Nolan was a friend of mine. I want justice and the facts to come out. I just want you to know I live in Wyoming. So how come you hit a typo? You was trying to get this out that fast. You had a typo. I live in Wyoming and have not been in past Christian for over a year. I grieve for Nolan and I want the same as everyone else. Answers. Thank you for your support.
We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow. And so it was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called Cito. And Wyatt was like, calls him.
Around the Cito, right? You guys called it in.
Right.
They have that record of you guys, making that emergency call.
Right.
But then there's this, I guess, graphic of you guys traveling at a slow speed. Then all of a sudden you accelerate.
Right.
People are saying that that's an indication of something afoot or foul play
My buddy Bart drove his boat up next to ours after he pulled us out away from the island. And then he towed us a little more. When my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. The captain of the boat got in the water, pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, and hit it. And I mean, that's why we came to a stop, so he could jump in the water, pull the plug, and then we hauled in. You know, there was no stopping, because if you do stop, the water starts coming back in the boat because the plug's out. So
there's nothing nefarious there. It's just a formality of trying to unplug the boating.
Absolutely not.
Get it docked properly. All that has gone on, if Nolan was here, what do you think he would say about all this?
If Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be sick to his stomach. I mean, Nolan hated all hate.
But the real question is, y'all see what it says. Bart went on the internet. Bart, why did you go on the internet and say that you was somewhere else when you really was involved? He just places you at the scene and on the island with them, but you said that you ain't been to Pass Christian to Ocean Springs essentially in over a year. Why did you go to the internet and say that? Secret Server Sam, can you help us out with why?
Allegedly, this is a strong allegedly. The guy who was apparently a friend of Nolan's and his name rhymes with fart had not been anywhere near Pass Christian for over a year. Check out this clip because I think we caught Warren in a lie.
Nolan was on Wyatt Pyron's 22 Triton on the way out. I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down.
Once again, this is Bart's statement.
And I called Bart that morning. I was like, hey, man, can you take your boat out? And he was like, yeah, well, my dad decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends. Of course. I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton. And then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton. And then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton. And then there was the rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then eventually my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out. Eventually,
for a reason. Y'all be patient.
Bart pulls us out. We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow. And so it was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called Cito. My buddy Bart drove his boat up next to ours after he pulled us out away from the island. And then he towed us a little more. When my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. The captain of the boat got in the water, pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, and hit it. And I mean, that's why we came to a stop, so he could jump in the water, pull the plug, and then we hauled in. There was no stopping, because if you do stop, the water starts coming back in the boat because the plug's out. So
there's nothing nefarious there. It's just a formality of trying to unplug the boating.
Absolutely not.
Get it docked properly. All that has gone on, if Nolan was here.
All right, we don't need to hear that part. I just want Secret Service Sam to come back on. Secret Service Sam, what else do you have to say about it? Because there's Bart's statement. So talk to us, Secret Service Sam.
Nolan, honestly, God rest his soul, would be disgusted at how his so-called best friends are treating his family and lying allegedly about what really happened to him.
That's a fact. But don't take my word for it, because Bart said on IG he wasn't there. But Bart.
Before I go to bed, why the fuck is Bart's name on the Coast Guard report when Warren went on Officer Goofy's show and said he's the one that called the Coast Guard? Why would Bart lie and say he was in Wyoming for 1 year when his name is on the Coast Guard report? Why would they keep saying, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, in an obvious attempt to conceal Bart's identity? When we have a GPS location that matches Fort Bayou and Bart's residence, which is also a home on the water with direct water access and a dock. Bart was one of the people not mentioned in the story. which means he could have written the story or had part in writing the red herring story. And Bart was definitely mentioned in the Cito call for pulling the plug from Wyatt. Hard evidence against Bart.
Hard evidence against Bart. Right? Hard evidence against Bart. But Bart said he wasn't there. Bart said he wasn't there. But if Bart wasn't there, y'all heard, how many times do y'all think Warren said buddy in that interview? I don't know. But I think she caught on to it.
The strategy of what we were doing to build the case. Okay, you start with the shit you know you can prove. Baby, we had him on manslaughter and accessory, period. Okay? We trying to get him to come forward. They not all right. You gave us more time. All right. By last night, before we really had the fully enhanced vocal, we had him on M2. We had him on second degree murder. Easy. After all that, after we Bart, that was M2. Easy. But then after the Cito came out, baby, the immediate go for the cover up, not even, bro. Y'all got M1 now. Y'all fucking got fucking M1.
And M1, what she's referring to once again is voluntary manslaughter. So just remember that. Allegedly, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. Remember that. All this is that we're talking about, all this from these different podcasters, this is alleged. All right. I'm not trying to spread no propaganda. I ain't trying to say this. I ain't trying to say that. But at the end of the day, if we having a conversation, if we're really talking about it, if we being honest about it, it's still not looking pretty for a lot of people. For a lot of people. But hold on. My bad, y'all. My bad. Hey, Bart, why you think everybody wasn't saying your name? How come you went up the internet immediately and said you wasn't nowhere near Ocean Springs? And you were still in Wyoming. You ain't been in over a year. Interesting. I wonder why.
I said, let me just see if Bart's house has a pool with a basketball goal. Let me throw a fucking Hail Mary. Let me fucking throw this to fucking T.O. and see if he's going to fucking catch it, baby. Wide receiver. Woo! Woo! And he scores! Bitch. Big third round draft pick energy, son. Ooh. Y'all fucked up now, son.
Oh, so that's Bart house. Oh, that's why y'all ain't mentioning Bart. Why y'all ain't talking about Bart? How come nobody really mentioned Bart's name until the toe call? We heard him say Bart, and then Warren said Bart, but Bart went on IG and said Bart was in Wyoming. So Bart, how can you be in two places at once? Asking for a friend. Come on down to the front of the congregation, Bart.
Go back to the story. Now, two things can't be true. He either died on the boat or he died at the basketball goal. Or he was dying on the boat and they somehow brought him back to Bart's house and then people witnessed him dying at the basketball goal. I don't know what any of this means right now. I'm just telling you that now we have a new house with a basketball goal who was a person who has concealed their involvement since day one, okay? The buddy. The person mentioned on the Cito call. The person mentioned on the Coast Guard official report.
And what she's talking about is this story. In this story, they talk about Warren, they talk about Wyatt, and they talk about Evan. But in this story, Bart's name is nowhere to be mentioned. And then Bart hopped on IG and said he was in Wyoming. But then Warren came out snitching. Said, nah, Bart was there. Bart brought his boat. Then on top of that, Bart, he was the one who got us out of the water. Interesting.
Okay, and the GPS location, that's the most important detail, is that Wyatt's GPS matches Bart's home in Fort Bayou that has a basketball goal in his pool and also private dock access. Okay? So where do we go from here? We got to go back to the story now.
Where do we go from here?
Let me just tell you some things about what is my professional legal opinion on this story, which I believe has some factual elements and other red herring elements to distract us. The first thing to note is the constant mention of Evan. Okay? That is why I feel like Evan's culpability is less than what they're alleging in the story, because they've got Evan's mom in there, Evan's mom being drunk, Evan's pool party. Evan don't even have a pool. Okay. Evan's doing drugs. The guy Evan is in there. That leads me to believe Evan's the most innocent one. Okay. Now, we can't rule out Evan wasn't at Bart's party or on one of the boats, but we need to put a pin in that right now, okay? Because Evan's name's mentioned so many times, that leads me to believe he has less culpability. Now we need to focus on what is real and what is fake out of this story. Let me just tell you some things about.
So if you remember, this story was the first story that came out. Bro, No didn't get into a fight on the island. He was in a fight with our friend, our other friend. No and Wyatt did get into an altercation right after that. Interesting. That story might come up again. It might be brought to the front of the congregation. But we shall see. But if we being honest, Warren said that he called the Coast Guard. But why is it a document saying that Bart called the Coast Guard when Bart was talking about originally how he was in Wyoming?
Other piece of evidence that proved Warren is lying is why the fuck wasn't Warren's name mentioned on the official Coast Guard report, and why was Bart's name mentioned? A suspect who y'all had been calling Buddy this whole time. A suspect who y'all slipped and actually mentioned his name, and then we heard on the CTO call, and we had to go track down. A suspect whose GPS location on Wyatt's boat matches his residence. A suspect who has a basketball goal in his pool. Why was his name on the report and not Warren's name if Warren is the one who called? Explain that. And why is it on July 5th at 10:05 a.m. and not at 11:45 p.m. on July 4th? Explain that. Now, the other piece of evidence that proved Warren is lying is why the fuck wasn't Warren's name mentioned on the official Coast Guard report?
So I rewind that back because Warren said that he called the Coast Guard. But on the official Coast Guard report, it just only says Bart and not Warren. And then it says July 5th, 10 o'clock. But Bart, you said you was back in Wyoming. Bart said he was in Wyoming, but how his name end up on the Coast Guard report? Warren say that he called the Coast Guard, but how does Bart's name end up on a goddamn Coast Guard report? Somebody ain't. Can somebody explain this? I'm asking for a friend. I'm literally just asking for a friend. Right?
And why was Bart's name mentioned? A suspect who y'all had been calling Buddy this whole time. A suspect who y'all slipped and actually mentioned his name, and then we heard on the CTO call, and we had to go track down. A suspect whose GPS location on Wyatt's boat matches his residence. A suspect who has a basketball goal in his pool. Why was his name on the report and not Warren's name if Warren is the one who called? Explain that. And why is it on July 5th at 10:05 a.m. and not at 11:45 p.m. on July 4th?
Because that's when Warren said he called.
Explain that. Now, the other...
Holy shit. Y'all think we get to the bottom of something here? I'm just asking for a friend. I am just asking for a friend. Because let's figure this out. Warren, what did you say? Warren said he called the Coast Guard. Right? Warren said that he called the Coast Guard. But did he call the Coast Guard? Brianna, she was the Coast Guard who took Warren's call at 11:45, supposedly. But Warren said that he told Javion's mom when she came to pick up the phone that he believed that Nolan was drunk on somebody's couch or sleeping. But then Bart's name ends up on the official report. July 10th. Holy shit. Wow. So now we got to get to this whole sinking thing. Because supposedly, they're sinking, right? They're sinking. Interesting. Yeah. See, in the court of law, it's not about what you can prove. No, it is about what you can prove. It's all about what you can prove. Just say it.
Why in court it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It only matters what you can prove. Now look at all the evidence that we have that proves that they were not sinking. Now they have to come in and somehow prove they were sinking. Now let them go do that. But we're going to go and sit here and prove why the fuck they were not sinking. And then it's up to you to battle me in court to see whose evidence wins. It's not about what actually happened. It's about what you can prove better than me, bitch.
Oh, schools are French, but these are some facts to prove that they were not sinking. The GPS coordinates do not match the 30 foot of water that they were in. He said we're in about 30 foot. First he said 17 feet of water. Then he said 31 feet of water. Okay, we'll see. But on the GPS coordinates that you gave Cito that we looked up, the water that you was in was very shallow, my guy. Then, actually, does she talk about it more? Oh, let me see.
Why in court it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It only.
And then could not. So let me continue. Let me continue. My bad. Let me break this down. The GPS coordinates say they were in 31 feet of water. They weren't. They could not tell dispatch how far the water was rising on the boat. When she asked them multiple times, how far is the water? Is it at your ankles? Is it grounded? Is it aground? This and that. He did answer, was it aground or not? But he didn't answer whether the water was at his ankles or not. Why? It's a simple question. Anyway, they claim to be going down, yet decline a Coast Guard. If your boat is sinking, if it's in my head, if you say sinking, I'm thinking of Titanic. On some real, like if you think of sinking, that means you're going down and you're going down quick. That means the Titanic. How come you don't want the Coast Guard if you're really sinking and going down? And then they claim that Cito was reportedly canceled by Grandpa. Cito, why is Grandpa canceling the call when 30 seconds ago we heard that he needed the Grandpa to come get them from out there? I don't know. I'm asking for a friend. But it's a lot of things that's not really adding up. And if we being honest, if we really having a conversation, if we really talking about it, yeah, we gonna get to the bottom of it. All right. So can I play this next video? Hold on. Is this it? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. All right, because I got something else for you. All right, so just be patient. Just be a little patient. Because now, with all that, we got to remember there's one key thing of evidence that we don't get right now.
Why I was trying to ask y'all got to decide what y'all want. Because let me tell you how this is going to work. And I'm sorry that we're doing all this work, but it all comes down to the medical examiner. And you know what she's going to do? She's going to go, oh, I lost the neck. Like, that's what they do. That's what they did with Kendrick's case. That's why he didn't have no organs for the second autopsy. This is standard procedure. This is what they do. This is what they do on purpose, okay? I said this from day one. So it doesn't even matter all the work we're doing right now. That's going to be great for the civil suits. But Stacey Turner's going to go, I don't know where the neck is. Be prepared. They already said they're sealing it. They're covering it up. They're never going to give us that neck. Do you understand that, right? You got to understand this. They're never going to give us the neck. They will never.
Will she prove to be right? Will we ever get the neck? Just asking for a friend. Don't let that tip of the evidence get lost in the cracks. The neck.
To understand the significance of not having a neck and what that means and why we had to start at the bottom and rack our way up with charges. Because we know it's first-degree murder now, but if we have no neck, we can't prove that. So we're going to have to settle for a manslaughter charge. Okay, but we've already proven manslaughter. So those are easy to prove. So we can't prove first-degree murder if we have no neck. That's why it'll be undetermined. Because then how can we prove it's a fucking homicide if the medical examiner says it's undetermined? We have no way to prove that in court. Okay? This is their strategy. So I hate to tell y'all this, but like the chances of getting a serious charge in this case, it's not going to happen. And so it's like the manslaughter is the best you're going to get because you're never going to get the fucking neck, regardless of what we can prove, unless.
Do y'all agree? Do y'all think they will ever release and give us the neck for the second autopsy? Do you think they will release information about the neck? Just in general. I'm just asking for a friend. So that's one thing to remember. I just wanted to just make sure that we don't forget about the neck, because who knows what's going to happen to the neck. What's going to happen to the neck? Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. What will happen with the neck? Will we ever get the neck? So, if we don't ever get the neck, if we don't ever get the neck,
only hope really is for Wyatt to just be really scared because he's the most culpable and come and tell us what happened so the other person can go down and Wyatt can get away. I mean, we're going to end up hitting Wyatt with manslaughter. He's going to probably be the only one that gets it. So he's got a chance to get out of his manslaughter if he comes and tells us what happened. And, you know,
he's getting manslaughter, because manslaughter, what happens is it becomes manslaughter if, number one, you refuse to render help. And he refused to render help when he was on the phone with Cito. He refused to render help when he called his grandpa. And he refused to render help. What was the third time? I forgot. But manslaughter, for that charge, needs to prove that you let somebody die and you had multiple opportunities to make sure that they was alive, essentially. But anyway.
Then we have to look at his fucking credibility because he's fucking already impeaching himself with the sinking story. So it's like, is he just going to cut a deal to cut a deal? Or can he give us evidence to prove what we already know behind the scenes that we're not telling y'all? So really, Wyatt could turn this whole thing around based on the fact that he's going to go down for the most if he doesn't speak.
Because it was his boat, essentially, too. That's why. That was the other third reason. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it was a lot of other good conversations about this, and I want to show y'all one good conversation that I felt was a great conversation that people had about the audio and what involved the audio within the story. But Nancy Grace, her and Stephen A., they had a conversation about this very story, and I just want to show y'all a little couple clips about that. Let's get into it. Nancy Grace talking to Stephen A. about Nolan Wells. Oh, and of course, my production doesn't have the goddamn audio on. Excuse my French, y'all, but come on, production. I can't do it all. You know, I'm sitting here talking to my people, trying to do this, do that. Yeah, I got all these videos on already. Anyway, let's get to it.
And host of Crime Stories with you. How's everything there?
On TV.
Yeah. You can't.
Wouldn't that be odd for me to smile in the course of reporting on a dead young man or a missing child? So
I totally
although I have great happiness in my life because of my twins.
I got you.
Boy-girl twins I had 18 years ago.
Wow. All right. That's a lot. That's a lot of reason to be happy. No question about that. Let's get right to this case involving Nolan Wells. You've been all over this case right now. Just as a reminder to the audience, Wells was the 18-year-old college football player from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, who was on a boat July 4th with a group of friends and traveled by private boat to Horn Island, an uninhabited barrier island off the Mississippi coast. Wells was the only black person, so reported, on the boat. When the friends returned to the mainland, Nolan was the only one who did not make it back. Talk to me about this story, Nancy, and what do you make of it at this particular moment in time?
I think that it is very murky. And I do not understand, Stephen, the demands on all platforms for the investigation to be shut down. Is it possible Nolan Wells died by accident? Yes, it's possible.
Facts.
Is it possible that there was foul play? Yes, that is possible. And I don't believe the investigation should be shut down until we know the answer to that. I have 2 children, both the age of Nolan Wells. I would be lying on the courthouse steps screaming for justice if the investigation into a death related to them was shut down before I had answers. So I don't understand where all the hate is coming from.
Who specifically is calling for the shutdown of the investigation? Just to educate my audience.
Well, go online. There's any number of people, thousands of people that think that, quote, this was an accidental drowning. Why are you doing this? You're a race baiter. You're fill in the blank. This has nothing to do with what color his skin was. This has to do with an unanswered question. During my prosecutorial career, I very often was the only white person in the courtroom. That has nothing to do with Lady Justice. What Lady Justice wants, what justice demands, is a full and fair investigation. And I'm also not saying that's
Nancy.
not going on, because my boss, Lewis Slayton, the longest serving elected district attorney at that time, I think, Stephen, it was 37 years, was like a grandfather to me. He was very strict, no one to speak to the press. It could ruin the case. I always had the same answer when asked. I believe a Fulton County jury will render a verdict that speaks the truth. Because I did believe that. We are not owed an explanation from law enforcement as to what they are doing. However, there are a lot of questions, specifically, Stephen, regarding the autopsy. The initial autopsy has remained under seal. We don't know what the answer was. The family, understandably, sent Nolan's body hundreds of miles away for a second opinion. When that doctor got the body, the lungs and the throat were missing. I understand why the lungs were missing, because this could have been a drowning case.
So it makes
But
sense
why
that
the
lungs-
throat? What was there about Nolan's throat that piqued the interest of the original medical examiner? That leads me to speculate. Was there bruising? Was the hyoid bone fractured? Was it broken? Was it dislodged? Is there possibly bruising on the strap muscles? Is it indicative of a blow? We know on the back of the head, that's your occipital bone on the back of your head, about where your hairline would start.
I taught that.
That there is deep red discoloration under the subcutaneous tissue. What? Is it from a blow? Is it from diffusion of the blood post-mortem? I don't know. But none of it is good. So I need answers before any investigation is going to be shut down.
What do you make of those
people
who have said, I remember Officer Tatum, a conservative podcaster, very popular, over 3 million subscribers. He's been on the warpath, going down, talking to some of the people that were there with Nolan Wells, white individuals. He's saying that evidence is showing that they departed. When they departed, Nolan Wells was alive. And you know what? They may have had absolutely positively nothing to do with this. The evidence shows that. Is that your finding, that the evidence shows that the people being, with allegations being thrown in their direction, the suspicions that have been raised by these people that were in attendance with Nolan Wells, that they should be, they have been proven or found to not have been around even when he was still alive? Is that is your findings consistent with anything along that verbiage with what people are saying about these kids that were with him?
No, I don't know the answer to that.
She said no.
They say Nolan chose to stay behind because he met a girl he wanted to talk to named Katie.
Right, Katie, right.
That girl has spoken through her sister
Oh, did she?
We are told.
Mm.
And she says Nolan told her, I'm going back with my friends.
What?
So
No way.
Who am I supposed to believe? I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is true. I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is false.
That's a fact. We don't know if it's true. We don't know if it's false. But the one thing that we do know, if Nolan did, once again, let me just throw this out there for all my people, the people all the way in the back too. If Nolan did decide to stay on the island, indeed, to talk to this woman or this girl, right? If he did decide to stay, why wouldn't he take his phone? Oh, okay.
I do know they called Seatow, S-E-A, second word T-O-W, and said that their vessel was sinking.
They were sinking?
But yet they continued boating around in it for hours after.
Hold on.
Is there an innocent...
Is that true? So they called Seatow. They told Seatow, yeah, we sinking. They declined the Coast Guard. They said, yeah, we sinking, but nah, we don't need the Coast Guard to come save us. Nah, we don't need them. And then after they got off the phone with the Coast Guard, they just magically not sinking and they just driving along, living their best lives. That's what you said, Nancy?
Explanation. Around in it for hours after. But yet they continued boating around in it for hours after. Is there an innocent explanation? Maybe. Maybe they thought it was sinking. They found the problem and they fixed it.
That's true.
Now,
that's true.
specters have been raised about audio suggesting Nolan had been on the boat on their return. I don't know if that was doctored. I don't know if it's real. I do know this. He went to Horn Island with them. They came back alive. He's dead. I'm going to investigate. You're darn right I'm going to investigate. And my wish is that his friends are innocent and that this was an accident. But it will be a cold day in HELL that I endorse closing down an investigation because somebody said I had nothing to do with that. What? Am I supposed to go, oh, okay, case closed, forget about it, and go tell the mom we're shutting down the investigation because so-and-so said he had nothing to do with it.
Have you received any indication from law enforcement that that is their intent, that their desire is to close down this investigation? Have you seen any indication like that at all?
No. And that emboldens me. That emboldens me because so far they haven't finalized this thing. As a matter of fact, the other day, a female journalist got a hold of law enforcement, the sheriff. He wouldn't answer any questions, which he should not have. And he stated that all questions were to be directed to the district attorney's office. I expect what they'll do is this, Stephen. I expect that they will call in a grand jury. A grand jury has two purposes. It can be a charging grand jury. I presented hundreds of cases to grand juries to get an indictment. It can also be an investigative arm. It can subpoena documents. It can call for witnesses. It can question them. It's an investigative, fact-finding grand jury. They may do that, or they may be able to do it on their own without calling in a grand jury. But I believe that law enforcement will do the right thing. Much has been made of the fact that Crump, who is representing Nolan Wells' family, turned down a request, an offer to bring on scent dogs and cadaver dogs to the boat. Well, I've got to just swat that down right now. Crump, or the Wells family, doesn't have the authority to allow anybody on that boat. It's not their boat. I've also learned through the
so everybody saying that, you see, Crump didn't let the Cajun Navy search the boat. He didn't want them to search the boat. And even I had this mixed up because I was like, dang, Crump, how come you don't want them to search the boat? But it wasn't the Nolan Wells family boat, and it's not Crump boat. So how you gonna have the Cajun Navy search somebody's boat when they can't give them permission to search their boat because it's not their boat? Oh, okay.
The grapevine on that, or the Wells family doesn't have the authority to allow anybody on that boat. It's not their boat. I've also learned through the grapevine that the boat has been searched. I would like to get my hands on that GPS nav system. I would like to find out if cadaver dogs were brought onto the boat. I would like to get a hold of Katie and question her. And I would like to ask each one of the boys separately what happened. And I'd like to give them a polygraph.
Yeah, because
is that so wrong? That's what I would be doing right now.
Because if
Nancy,
they
I don't
ain't
think
do
it's
nothing-
wrong at all.
Because if they ain't do nothing, it's not wrong. If they ain't do nothing, don't you think if you didn't do nothing, yes, sign me up for polygraph so I can tell y'all what I didn't do and get the hell up out of here. Test me for everything, investigate everything. You can have my phone, you can have this, you can have that. Especially if I didn't do nothing. If I know I'm clean as a whistle, you can search everything. But it's a fact that when you're not clean and when you potentially did something, when you start declining, people searching stuff, or you start declining, getting a polygraph test and things of that nature, then we know you had some. But anyway, continue, y'all.
And with those questions that you're asking, I think all of those are very important, very, very significant questions that need to be answered. What's the resistance to getting those answers? Is it law enforcement saying it's an ongoing investigation? You're not entitled to know things until we tell you to? Is it the family getting in the way? Is it the Wells family picking and choosing who they want to investigate matters, and they're interfering in their own way? What's this mess that seems to have been made of this case? Where does fault lie, if any at all, in your estimation, as to what's impeding progress in this investigation from taking hold?
Stephen, I believe a lot of people.
Oh, I knew it was coming. I'm like, hey, I'm like, they've been letting us live our best lives on here. They ain't interrupted us not one time. But I knew it was coming. And at the end of the day, like I tell y'all all the time, they ain't paying us. They ain't paying us. So what we gonna watch they have for? What we look like? What do we look like? But anyway, back to the regular schedule programming. Nancy, you're back up.
Dire controversy. I think that there are people out there that want to spin it out for their own gain, be it fame, be it money. And I cannot relate to that. I'm a crime victim. I am a victim of violent crime. My fiance was murdered shortly before our wedding.
Damn.
It changed my life and my family's life forever. It even affects me now, how I raise my children.
That's respect.
Every day.
God damn.
I can't lay fault at the family's feet. I can't do that. I think that hate, racial hate is being stirred. The pot is being stirred. And people are coming out. I looked at my Twitter the other day. I wish I hadn't. With the worst slurs. They're not, usually people will try to hide it. They're putting it in writing. It's just anger and hate, and it's boiled up in the form of this case.
So Nancy, you even getting hate. Hold on. You playing it fair though. You just trying to get to the answers, Nancy. So what they hating on you for? Oh, it's because y'all putting more spotlight on the cover up that's going on, potentially, allegedly. Oh, that's why. But Nancy, you getting hate too. So everybody getting hate. Everybody getting death threats. Okay, as long as it's fair across the board.
And I pray to God that we will get justice regardless, notwithstanding all the hate. I don't know where it's coming from. I can't identify with that. But I can tell you this, we're not letting go till we have an answer.
Your thoughts on the Wells family, some people who wanted to point the finger at them, and I just find it to be wrong. I'm like, I'm not looking at the family who lost their son or lost their sibling. I'm not looking at them. I'm not trying to look at them in any negative way. But there are people that have looked at Crump's presence, civil rights attorney. Obviously, he's represented white clients as well as black clients in the past. The family brought him in. That's right. They brought up Al Sharpton eulogizing Nolan Wells at the funeral. They brought up these kind of things to say that, the family, if not the family, those connected to the family are stoking these thoughts that you just articulated. That's a very, very big concern to you. What are your thoughts about that when the Crumps of the world, the Al Sharptons of the world, even though he just eulogized them at the funeral, he's not necessarily involved in the legal process.
Keep going.
Their involvement in something like this, what does that do for or against the case in your estimation, based on your experience reporting on these?
I don't care if Al Sharpton, what happened to Nolan Wells. I don't care if Al Sharpton is stirring the pot. I don't care what people say, the rocks they throw, the slings and the arrows, don't care. That does not dissuade me from finding out what happened. Now, sometimes people seek refuge. How do I know the family didn't know who to contact? How do I know Crump or Sharpton didn't contact them? And they said, yes, help me, please. Maybe they thought an injustice was going down. I don't know why they chose Crump. I don't know why they chose Sharpton, but I can tell you this is not a Miss Congeniality contest. Nobody's going to get crowned Miss Sweet Potato at the end of this. Everyone will get hate mail. Everyone is going to get threats, and everybody will be disliked. But in the end, we may find out what happened to Nolan Wells. So go ahead, sling mud, attack Sharpton, attack Crump, attack me, attack the family, attack the boys that were out there that day. For all I know, they've all passed a polygraph. I don't know that, but I do know I don't have answers. And a young man the age of my son and my daughter is dead. That's all that matters. I don't care what Crump or Sharpton scream into a microphone. Irrelevant to me. I only care about the facts.
God damn, I mess with you heavy, Nancy. Because you just want the facts just like we do. It's that simple. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. At the end of the day, it was somebody who lost their life. If this was any other color race, I think we all would probably be invested just the same, if I'm being honest. Yes, it makes it a little bit more magnified because it was originally, the picture was just Nolan Wells and his 3 white friends. We get that. We're past that, though. We're past that. Somebody still lost their life. And we're still just looking for answers and wanting answers. No matter if you're on this side, no matter if you're on that side. It doesn't make a difference. The evidence will prove who's on the wrong side of history and who's on the right side of history. Period. Just saying.
Let me be more specific. What I'm getting to is, does the presence of individuals like that, based on your experience, assist in expediting the process to get closer to the truth? That's what I'm wondering about specifically.
Facts.
I think it does. And I'll tell you why. Whether you like Sharpton or you have to hold your nose, you don't like him, don't care. But guess what? Every TV was turned on this case because of Crump and Sharpton. You know how many cases I've investigated and nobody cares? Their names are forever lost. Nobody knows their names. Nobody cares. But because those two jumped on the bandwagon or hitched a ride on the bandwagon, I don't know which is true, now there is focus on the Nolan Wells case. And I say, fine.
Authorities have said they suspect.
I remember the 80s so clearly. The clothes.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Like I told y'all, they ain't paying us. We ain't watching no ads. My bad, y'all. I even let it play in the background for about 2 seconds. They ain't finna get me. But I got some other breaking news because we're going to get to this Officer Tatum. Don't you worry, because he's posting a lot. He's saying a lot, and I promise you, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Goddamn Uncle Tom, we're going to come see you, my guy. Don't trip. You getting all the attention you want, Officer Tatum. We'll come take a look at you, my guy. Don't you trip. Don't trip.
How do you feel about authorities coming out without the investigation being completed? I'm thinking about your former boss, who was like a grandfather to you, that told you don't go to the media until it's absolutely necessary. Timing is everything, et cetera, et cetera. I'm looking at authorities coming out and saying they suspect drowning. I think that's a very presumptive statement to be coming out of their mouth. What did you say?
I don't think there should have been any comment at all. If they had to say something, it should have been along the lines of, we are investigating the case to our fullest ability, and we are open to any information, any help that we can get, and we will find the truth, God willing. think that's what I would have said if I said anything at all. Maybe they did suspect drowning at the beginning, but they should have kept their pie hole shut because we don't know that it was drowning. Now, the fact that the first inmate took the lungs suggests to me that there may have been water in the lungs. That doesn't mean foul play was not involved. How do I know he wasn't hit on the head and thrown over the side? Do I think that's what happened? I don't think anything one way or the other until I have the facts. His friends could be completely innocent, or they may know more than they're telling. We have to find that out.
And the only way to do it is by applying pressure. And in my estimation, the authorities being a bit presumptuous and ahead of the curve and saying they suspect drowning and articulating that, it's almost like their wish was to aim you in a different direction, and the direction towards innocent for these boys, because why would authorities come out so quickly and just say such a thing? That's just my thinking. But I'll ask you this as well. Your thoughts real quickly about the independent autopsy compared to the original autopsy. Your thoughts about that, if any at all.
Oh, I've got plenty of thoughts, Stephen Smith. Plenty of thoughts. First of all, they both are inconclusive. I don't have the first result, so I don't know. The second one is deemed inconclusive. Why? Because the second examiner does not have the throat or the lungs. So a full investigation, an autopsy cannot be completed, because this is what they've got to do, and I've seen them do it. I told you about the red subcutaneous markings under the occipital bone.
Yes.
All right. Now, how do I know that's not from a blow to the head? Okay. How do I know that's not from an accident? We are being told today Nolan was drinking heavily. Okay. Even somebody drunk can be a homicide victim. Even somebody drunk can be a victim of an accident. That means nothing to me. Everybody out there was drinking. So what? I'm going to be angry because the victim was drinking?
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Because it's been reported now that Nolan Wells was drinking. You have news outlets now saying that Nolan Wells was drinking and that he was under the influence of potentially some kind of substance. So what she's saying, really quick, because I just had, it's something that turns me the wrong way. It's something that turns me really the wrong way, makes me sick to my goddamn stomach. And I don't even want to show this dude, but we got to show him because he's the one who's goddamn spreading this stuff now. I wonder where you got the information from. You interviewed his friends, didn't you? So it's being reported. Let's go ahead. Let's just give it some spotlight real quick. He wants the attention. We're going to give him some goddamn attention. Breaking. I've been told by reliable sources that heavy drinking and cocaine allegedly played a role in Nolan's death. Hold on. First of all, Nolan, what color you is, Nolan? You, my complexion, right? And then on top of being my complexion, Nolan, you was an athlete, right? And you saying that he was also, not only was he drinking, cocaine was allegedly a part of it too. So when they had the body, did they put some cocaine down his nose or in down his mouth? So potentially it can show. Because now if it come out on a toxicology report, I'm going to be thinking a little different about that. But you said Nolan Wells is doing cocaine? Okay. We're going to give you the attention that you need.
To think that nobody saw it when they're entangled within all these people, I think is a disservice. We need to get to the information that I heard. We'll get to Miss Rachel and her silly self. And Judge Mathis. We'll get to Judge Mathis. But what I was told, and you guys, please take in consideration that it's reliable sources. However, the only way to prove the truth in this is if I see it with my own eyes, if the law enforcement have the investigation of this, and also when the toxicology results come out. But people are messaging me and telling me that.
See, now he said people. He said by reliable sources, and now he's saying people is messaging him and texting him. Okay.
There is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved. And there's a.
So if Nolan was in a group of people with 30 plus people that Warren said, was Nolan the only one snorting cocaine supposedly? So cocaine is now involved, huh? Okay.
Particular person whom I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first. and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. This person said it was 150% sure that when the toxicology comes back, that
you just interviewed his friends, so there's got to be coming from his friends. His best friend, supposedly, right?
Have cocaine in his system. To think
that Nolan would go have cocaine in the system. So now y'all just setting up the plot. Oh. Now y'all just setting up the plot. Like we boo-boo the fool. Nolan Wells snorting cocaine now. Nolan Wells heavily intoxicated. This is I ain't gonna lie to you. As an athlete, there's a lot of things that I done did. Boys ain't been drunk before. We done partied. We done lived our best life, boys. And, the green stuff. Yes, I hit the joint once or twice in my life before. This is not news to America. All right. But you saying Nolan Wells an athlete going to training next Monday. You're saying now somebody told you, allegedly, that it's 150%, over 100% guaranteed that Nolan Wells had cocaine in the system? And that influenced him drowning? Or that influenced what happened to him? Okay, so he had cocaine in the system and he was drinking. Let's wait for that toxicology report to come back, my friend. Let's wait for it to come back. Because I'm pissed now. The smut that you throwing Officer Tatum on my guy's name? Fucking borderline disrespectful, bro. Not borderline, it is disrespectful. Guy got a special place for you, dude.
And his markings under the occipital bone.
Yes.
All right. Now, how do I know that's not from a blow to the head? Okay. How do I know that's not from an accident? We are being told today Nolan was drinking heavily. Okay. Even somebody drunk can be a homicide victim.
Even somebody drunk can be. Thank you, Nancy.
Somebody drunk can be a victim of an accident. That means nothing to me. Everybody out there was drinking. So what? I'm going to be angry because the victim was drinking?
You think Nolan Wells was the only person snoring that stuff down too? One of his friends clearly told Officer Tatum. And now Nolan sniffing that stuff, and now it's 150% that somebody told Officer Tatum that he was also snorting cocaine. You can't make this shit up.
King, again, this is not a personality contest. It's not a moral test about his character. Bottom line, I need more evidence because that bruising or hemorrhaging or reddening under the occipital, I got to figure out it's from a blow. Is it from a fall? Is it diffusion? Now, go with me on this. When someone passes away,
okay,
and they're in a specific position, the blood pools. It's called lividity. The blood goes down. Like if I die on my back, my blood will go to the back of my head, my back, my rear end, the back of my legs. You turn me over, it'll go to my front. So is that pooling of the blood? I got into a full-on argument with a very esteemed medical examiner because he suggested it was pooling of the blood. Then why wasn't it anywhere else? Why wasn't there pooling on his back, on the back of his shoulders, his neck? Why is it just pooling here? So I've got a problem with that theory. Here's a problem with my problem. It's very complicated, Stephen. The neck, if it was injured, is very diffuse with blood. The blood from the jugular and the carotid arteries could diffuse post-mortem and gather there. So what they've got to do is get that tissue, the tissue from Nolan Wells's occipital bone around it. And they've got to look under a microscope and figure out, is this a result of a bruise or is this diffusion of blood or something else? See, it's very complicated and very minute. So we need more evidence, is what I'm saying.
I think it's very complicated for the average person out there. I don't think it's that complicated for you. I don't think it's that complicated for a medical examiner. If you have his body and you have that, you look at it and you can see what it is. To me, it just seems some resistance, I don't know from whom, to make sure that becomes public knowledge. I think that's where I think that's where the challenge lies, not in figuring it out. I think the challenge lies in us getting them to articulate what they figured out, Nancy. That's where I'm at with it.
Now, you're saying what they figured out, because I don't think the second examiner has figured out anything because he doesn't have the lungs or the throat.
I'm talking about the first examiner.
That hyoid bone.
I'm talking about the first examiner.
Okay, yeah. There's one holdout on that I could see justifying the delay, and that's waiting on toxicology. Were drugs involved? Because what if, and I have no evidence of this, what if he had used drugs, fell in the water, and drowned?
But they didn't tell you that, Nancy. They didn't tell you anything about
if he did use drugs, he could still be a victim.
But they didn't tell you. I'm saying the average person out there, they didn't even tell you about we're waiting. You couldn't say we're waiting for the toxicology report. I mean, if you could sit up there and say we suspect drowning, couldn't you have said we're waiting for the toxicology report? You didn't hear them say that, did you?
Yes, you could. I have not heard that, and you're very correct. That could be released where it's pending toxicology. Or anything. Just tell me something. But we're getting nothing. And again, it's not their duty to tell us anything. So before I assign wrongdoing to the medical examiner or anyone else, we need more facts. But I find it very disturbing. They all go out, and he's the only one that doesn't make it back. The girl says he left with them. They say he stayed with the girl. And there were hundreds of people out on Horn Island. Nobody saw him.
Not hundreds, Nancy. Hold on, Nancy. Can I correct you, Nancy? Don't don't come at me. Well, Warren said it was not hundreds, thousands of people, not just hundreds, Nancy. They said it was thousands.
Nobody.
I find that very hard to believe. And think about the last person that left. What, they left him there? I don't believe that.
And he left, and he let them leave. Even though his cell phone was on the boat.
His phone.
His phone, rather. His phone was on the boat or whatever, which brings me to this question, because there were some questions about these conflicting stories coming out in the case of him staying behind to talk to a girl, a cell phone date, and inconsistencies between Life 360 and Snapchat locations. Talk about that for a quick second before I let you get on out of here, Nancy.
Come on, Nancy.
I certainly will. I've consulted with digital forensics experts, and they say that there can be a difference between Snapchat location and Life 360 location.
That's what we know.
And your iPhone, Find My iPhone location.
Yes.
So we have to make these things jive, and we may learn something nefarious or not. Now, we're also being told that there was no cell coverage there. I don't believe that, because the young man out on the boat called Cito, and I could hear him just fine. So there was cell. So the mom was concerned. She didn't see any Snapchat or anything going on during this certain period of time. So we have to, and you can look, Stephen, even if you delete it from deleted and it's not stored in the cloud, can still find out if something was deleted, because it leaves a trail. Everything you do on your phone leaves a trail. Even if it's totally deleted and deleted from the cloud, you still leave a trail of your actions. But just human nature. I know my children. My son is a fisher. He would take his phone with him. He would leave it on the boat if he got into the water, but he would not let a boat leave with his phone. That would not happen. I'm just telling you that.
All of this is just heightened my level of suspicion, to be quite honest with you. And the fact that you've said all the things that you said here in this interview, Nancy, has made me even more suspicious than I was before I started the interview, because I didn't know a lot of the details that you were kind enough to provide to myself and my audience. So I thank you for that. Hopefully this case, hopefully we'll reach a resolution with this case much sooner than later. I'm concerned.
I'm praying it was an accident.
I'm praying it was an
we
accident.
We can't bring Nolan back.
That's right.
We can find the truth. The best outcome would be there was no ill intent. Yeah. That is my prayer.
Absolutely. Let me move on to this case quickly before I let you go, involving Brian Kohlberger.
We don't care about Brian Kohlberger. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we appreciate you answering Nancy about it, though. We appreciate that. We appreciate that, Brian Kohlberger. If y'all want me to talk about Brian Kohlberger, just let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. But yeah. Let's get to this though, because U.S. Coast Guard, they came out and they said U.S. Coast Guard describes Nolan Wells' alcohol intake as heavy. Interesting. So here comes the narrative spin. Now we're going to say the victim was heavily drinking alcohol. Why the does it matter? A drunk person can still get killed. A drunk person can still die. And it was not only Nolan drinking. Warren said he was drinking. Wyatt said he was drinking. All his friends said that they were drinking. Everybody on the island apparently was drinking. So why does it matter if he was drinking? Oh, well, if he drowned potentially and he had cocaine in the system. He had cocaine in the system and he had a lot of alcohol in the system. So, yes, it was drowning. If it was just that cut and dry, how come y'all just don't release all the information and just send us on our way? Oh, okay.
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update. And this just came in. An email exchange between the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources and the U.S. Coast Guard received by ABC News describes Nolan Wells' alcohol intake as heavy. This information comes from witnesses who made the initial call to DMR. The toxicology report, along with the state's autopsy, are not expected to be released until they are presented to a grand jury. It goes on to say, as part of our response, the MSDMR requests SAR data related to the missing person, Nolan Wells. The MDMR will use this data to start sonar scans in the area while information is still limited. We request the following to be used for data. Now, it says subject, black male, 6'1", tall, 180 pounds, food intake unknown, alcohol intake heavy, clothing shorts only. How do they know the food intake? How do they know the alcohol intake was heavy? They do not have the toxicology report released because they said it themselves. It will not be released until they are presented to a grand jury. Again, this is the narrative. This is the racial divide. This is what we're talking about when they're trying to push a narrative that Nolan was so wasted. But Warren, his best friend, said he was fine, he was normal. And then you have these random witnesses saying that he was wasted. Where is the proof? That will only be in the toxicology report. And until then, you cannot say anything definitively. This was all speculation. Secret Service Sam out, Samson for president.
I appreciate that, Secret Service Sam. You're giving us a lot of updates during this case, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Next update, because I'm going to actually play this for y'all personally. So I just want him to hit on it real quick. Next video, Secret Service Sam, talk to us.
Here for a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and you know ABC News is on that bowl-ish, if you know what I'm saying. They are already coming out with their own version of the audio, but conveniently left out the beginning part of the call. They are cherry picking what they want to put in there. And it has to raise some question is like, which side are you on? I mean, this is literally like East Coast, West Coast beef. And if you don't want your activists all up in the videos, all up in your stuff, playing a clown, playing in your face, then come to the West side, son. Come to the right side, son. It's right and wrong. It's right versus wrong. We're on the right side of history. Officer Race Tatum and them are on the wrong side of history. So if you want to be on the right side of history, come on over here. But ABC News, TMZ, they're pushing a narrative. Why would they come out with the audio and edit out the most important part of it, which is the very beginning before when you hear what is really going on in the background? And again, We can't be certain what is being said in the background, but the fact remains that there is an effort to change the narrative. And if you're on the right side of history, let me know in the comments. This is
so the ABC call or the APC report that they released. Y'all want to see it? Should we show it? Because ABC, he ain't lying. They on that bullshit. I'll say it for him. They on that bullshit. Excuse my French. I don't like cursing, but it is what it is because ABC, they is on that bullshit. But let's see what ABC had to say earlier today. Remember, they left out the beginning of the call where we heard all the, oh my God, Nolan, oh no, well, allegedly what we potentially heard, but they left that part out, but they played a little bit of this other audio. Let's listen.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking.
This morning, more audio of the frantic call from the boat Nolan Wells was supposed to have taken to shore after celebrating July 4th with friends on a remote barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
And what do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
The caller told the dispatcher everyone aboard was unhurt and noted he and the passengers were young.
There are 0 adults on board. Nobody here is over the age of 21.
Why does that matter that he noted that? ABC, what narrative you trying to run with?
Documents obtained by ABC News show that boat set off for Horn Island just before 10 a.m. the morning of July 4th. Wells and his friends arrived at 11:14. For the next 5 hours, the boat was stationary until it left at 4:31 p.m. without Wells, moving at no more than 4 knots. Whatever problem the teens reported was resolved about an hour later at 5:25.
Oh, an hour later. I thought it was resolved right then and there, 10 minutes after Wyatt made the call, because Wyatt was saying, hey, we're sinking. Then Grandpa hopped on the phone and said, they don't need no help. They're not sinking. Oh, okay, ABC.
When vessel regains normal operation and begins accelerating at 30 to 35 knots. Friends said they did not abandon Wells. Rather, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources reported his friends saying Wells was in the company of an unknown female and that he chose to remain at the island. As searchers began scanning the island and surrounding waters, this email obtained by ABC News shows the preliminary information they were given, describing Wells as a black male, 6'1", 180 pounds, wearing shorts only. The Marine Patrol listed his alcohol intake as heavy.
How did they know? How did they know if his alcohol intake was heavy or not? Do y'all have the autopsy report? Let's go back. Interesting. Interesting. So if we're getting down to the nitty gritty, for the MSDMR, so the Mississippi Department of the Rivers Marine Resources, they said that his alcohol intake was heavy. How do y'all know that if you don't have the we don't even have the toxicology report. It's supposed to be coming out with the first autopsy. That's still not here, but we know they take time, right?
Patrol listed his alcohol intake as heavy. The state's autopsy, including the results of toxicology tests, is pending.
As long as we continue to remember him, his light will continue to shine through us all. Nolan, we love you. We'll continue to fight for you.
Wells was laid to rest last week. A source tells ABC News on the day of the funeral, his mother sent his friends legal notice to expect a lawsuit, instructing them to preserve evidence and not to delete anything on their phones. Nothing further from the Wells family about those impending lawsuits. Meanwhile, the district attorney has asked for patience in the investigation, saying minimal releases of information are meant to protect the integrity of the case. Officials have...
I bet it is. We want to protect the integrity of the case, right? Right. We want to protect the integrity of the case, right? Right, y'all? That's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Well, Of course, y'all know I got another video for you. But in the meantime, make sure, you hit the comments. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. All right, show me some love. All right, come on. Don't be just a ghost watcher out here. All right, because at the end of the day, we will get to the root of the problem. We will get to the root of what's really going on. But I'm just kind of a little puzzled and a little upset that Officer Tatum, you really out here saying what you saying? He had cocaine in the system. He was drinking a lot of alcohol. Okay. We'll take your word for it, my guy. We're going to take your word for it, Officer Tatum. Because you did interview his friends. So I wonder, is that coming from his friends? Chat, what y'all think? Y'all think his friends told Officer Tatum that they had a lot of heavy alcohol intake? He was also on cocaine. Y'all really think? Comment down below. Do y'all really think Nolan Wells is on cocaine? I'm asking for a friend. It's possible, right? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything for real is possible, right? So, I get it. So, if y'all haven't heard, the audio engineer who did the audio, she came out and she spoke out. Let's get down to it. Because there's a lot of different audios out there. But the first audio engineer came out and she spoke. Let's hear. Oh, production. I'll do it myself.
Statement. Her name is Janetta Brantley, okay? And so she put out this statement overnight, and she said, and if you put it up there, make it, I want to be able to read it off the screen. She said, okay, here is the 5-minute isolated version of the Cito call. I stopped the audio at the point where Vicky with Cito International begins connecting with the captain who had just gotten off the phone with the boat's owner and the caller's grandfather. Nothing was added to this recording. The purpose of the processing was simply to make the audio already present in the original recording easier to hear. I strongly recommend listening with headphones. Listen carefully and come to your own conclusion about what you hear. Unlike my previous video, I intentionally did not include my interpretation or transcription on the background dialogue. I want everyone to listen for themselves without being influenced by what I hear. I also want to make one professional observation. I think this is important as well. After spending roughly 24 hours working closely with this audio, I could hear what appear to be processing artifacts that suggest the recording may have already been cleaned, processed, or otherwise adjusted before the version I obtained was released. I cannot confirm that, so I am not presenting it as fact. It is simply an observation based on what I hear in the audio. For my version, I kept the processing minimal. Gain adjustments and subtractive EQ. No AI enhancement, no generated dialogue, nothing added. This is the full 5-minute clip I processed. Put your headphones on, listen closely, and judge for yourself. My heart remains with the Wells family. Justice for Nolan Wells. And then she goes on with her hashtags. Okay. Overnight. Before she put it out yesterday, this is what she said in part.
You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here.
Okay, so Quentin, does this change anything that you thought about it? Is exactly what you did think? Or is it what you're hearing from your subscribers? Because I'm hearing people thinking this is the actual transcription and they're going, this is actually it, but we're not sure yet. I do know what I hear. I do hear some words extremely clearly. And if you want to listen to it, we can, but go on. What do you think?
So I think that this 9,000,000% confirms what many people have already felt, right? And I definitely appreciate, how you opened this up in reference to it being an interpretation. Listen for yourself. I think I'm hearing this. I may not be hearing that. But I want to add to this conversation, Don, at the end of the day, as it relates to this relationship, it's here nor there, the specifics of what we think we may be hearing or not being hearing. Unequivocally, what it does confirm is conspiracy to cover up something. Unequivocally, whether you hear a Nolan, wake up, and maybe I didn't hear that, but I heard a damn it, Bart, but maybe I didn't hear that. What it does confirm is that those people on that boat knew something, did something, and are not being forthright with the police and the general public. That, for fact, any rational, reasonable, sane person should be able to deduce that from that audio if they are of the belief that that audio is actually real.
And you know what? I don't think people realize is when they call a service like that. Sometimes when you call a service or emergency 911, they're recording you before they even pick up the phone.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that they were not anticipating. You couldn't scrub that. They couldn't scrub that clean.
You think that obviously they didn't realize it. So do you think that, my interpretation, this is what I thought, and look, this is just me filling in the gaps in my head, is that they were leaving the shore and maybe he was back waiting on the shore or trying to catch up or something happened and they were like, bye, Nolan, or whatever. And I don't know, maybe there's something happened and he fell off, they pushed off. I don't know, but that's what I was thinking. And then all of a sudden they realized like, oh shit, is he dead? Or that's what I was thinking in my head. Now, I don't know if that's not corroborated. That's just the scenario that's coming up in my head. And it's coming up because investigators aren't saying anything.
Right. They're not saying anything. So we have to go into our own interpretation until they start releasing audio, until they start investing, or until they start updating the public with what's going on. So if you don't know who they're talking about or what they're talking about, there's a woman who decided to enhance. She decided to enhance. Hold on, my bad. Ooh. Hold on, my bad, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. So it was the woman, she decided to enhance the audio, right? And so with her enhancing the audio, guess what? This is it. All right? This is only the caller side. She cleaned the audio to only show the caller side, right? This is literally by her. So this is what's causing everybody to be in uproar because they think she altered something or she changed this or changed that. And she didn't. She's an audio engineer. She won awards literally in real life for this. So let's listen to a little bit of the audio just so that way y'all can get a reminder about what really happened and why is everybody so angry and upset about her just, being a good Samaritan and clean the audio for all of us.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hey, up! Shut the fuck up!
What did y'all hear within those first 30 seconds? Let me play it again for the people in the back. And we'll play it a little further this time, but I'm assuming that you've already heard this audio and this is not new information for you. But this is a woman who went ahead, an audio engineer, an award-winning audio engineer, who went ahead and literally showed the whole process of her doing this actually too. And if you want me to show that, chat, let me know if you want me to actually show her telling and talking about the process. I can gladly do that. But let's listen to the audio again. And this is only the caller side. Is he dead? Nolan? I don't care what nobody say. We definitely heard somebody say, oh my God.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hey, up! Shut the fuck up!
And a lot of people were saying they were trying to say, wake the fuck up, say this, say that. No, that was Bart. I mean, not Bart. My bad. Because Bart guilty. But that was Wyatt, the one on the phone telling them to shut the fuck up because clearly he was on the phone with Cito and they didn't know he was recording. Or that Cito was recording the call before, while he was on the phone. Wait. Dang, Bart, what happened?
What'd you say? Hey. It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now. I don't know the phone number. It's either.
All right. So obviously with her, I think the problem that she ran into, she cleaned the call, but she's put the caller side only. So she didn't put the dispatcher side with that original post that she had. And I think that's what caused everybody to have an uproar. And this is what she said. All right. So this is her actual post. Let's read it. What did you say, miss? Come on down to the front of the congregation. What did you release when you released this audio? Here's a 5-minute isolated. Here's a 5-minute isolated version of the Cito call. Oh my goodness, boy, he needs some milk. Get him off the sticks. My bad, y'all. But I stopped the audio at the point where Vicky and the Cito International begins connecting with the captain who had just gotten off the phone with the boat's owner, which is Wyatt's grandfather. Nothing was added to this recording. The purpose of this processing was simply to make the audio already present in the original recording easier to hear. I strongly recommend listening to this with headphones, listening carefully, and come to your own conclusions about what you hear. Unlike my previous video, I did not intentionally and did not include my interpretation of the transcription of the background dialogue. I want everyone to listen for themselves without being influenced by what I hear. I also want to make one professional observation. After spending roughly 24 hours working closely with this audio, I can hear what appears to be the processing artifacts that suggest the recording may have been cleaned, may have been already cleaned, or processed or otherwise adjusted before the version I obtained was released. I cannot confirm that, so I am not presenting it as fact. It is simply an observation based on what I hear in the audio. For my version, I kept processing the minimum, gain adjustments, subtractive EQ, no AI enhancements, no generated dialogue, added nothing, and then this is blah, 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 blah. So that was her statement. Do y'all believe she altered the audio? Because Nancy Grace, who has potentially a little bit more credibility, Nancy Grace, who be on people like White on Rice, Nancy Grace, her audio. I played it for y'all yesterday. Do we need to go back and revisit it? Should we go back and revisit it? Because Nancy Grace, well, her audio was crystal clear. And this is Nancy Grace. So let's listen to Nancy Grace's audio before we move on to another subject real quick. Or the same subject, but different person. Listen to Nancy Grace's audio.
Grace, this is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
He also doesn't, to me, he's face down, wouldn't blood pool just by nature of gravity this way.
So right now we've got a lot of questions, but as the second doctor says, this is all still pending investigation.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Nancy Grace's audio.
Cito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
What did we just hear? What was
Nancy Grace, ain't it?
that? One more time, please.
No.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at
This is Nancy Grace
the
audio.
west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the coming up, sir? Can you give me?
I don't agree with that part. Every time I hear it, I don't agree.
All right, of course. How far is the coming up?
I believe that because a lot of people are saying they said wake the fuck up. I believe Wyatt was letting them know, motherfucker, I am on the phone with Cito, and y'all over here talking about is he dead? Calling his name. I'm over here on the phone with Cito. Y'all snitching. Be quiet. So that was Wyatt. He ain't say wake the fuck up. He said shut the fuck up. Facts. That's the number one thing that I have a problem with the audio. But other than that, I heard what y'all heard. Let's play it back. Because Nancy wanted to play it back.
Here. What was that?
I said the same thing.
One
Nancy.
more time, please.
One more time? Okay. Okay. One more time. You dead.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the coming up, sir?
See, not wake the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's why I tell them to shut the fuck up. I'm on the phone. Stop snitching.
Can you give me a description? Ankles. Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Straight out to investigate.
And that's Nancy Grace audio. And even Nancy Grace herself is saying that she's receiving a lot of crazy threats and a lot of this and a lot of that. And that's Nancy Grace. She's very legitimate. Very reliable source. And y'all doing that to Nancy? Nancy's just trying to uncover the truth. If ain't nothing really happened, then it will prove that nothing really happened. But with that call, y'all, like I said yesterday, if I'm any one of the suspected suspects or alleged suspects, I would have left yesterday. I would have got out of town quicker than quick. I would have left everything. I would have said, Mommy, Daddy, just send me my money overseas forever. I get a job out there when I eventually figure it out. But as of right now, hey, man, oh man, oh man. But regardless, y'all, yeah. And if you haven't heard a new development, I do want to hit on this real quick. A new development that happened that happened within the case. The parents of Nolan Wells' family. So this is, I think, is really key, and this is really important. The parents of Nolan Wells. All right, what they did, and this is something that's important. I have somebody else talk about this, but we're gonna let Don Lemon and his minion. They're gonna talk about it real quick. So let's go ahead and hear what they got to say. Nolan Wells' family. This was probably one of the most important things, one of the key and important things that they did that is a necessity in this case. This is extremely important. So regardless of whether they get the truth in this investigation or they don't get the truth in this investigation, what they did here will prove to come in handy here later on in this case.
I don't have it. And so this is a protective measure for the family. It's just a notice of intent to pursue litigation. So they're not actually doing it yet, but it is that kind of pre-step just to make sure evidence is preserved. Now, that is my understanding.
So this is Jackson County. Somebody reported this in Jackson County. What Nolan Wells' family did. The parents of Nolan Wells' family, they sent a letter and told them to expect a lawsuit. For what? For why? Let them explain.
And as again, I want to have the disclaimer, I do not have a JD. So that is my non-JD having legal understanding of this intent to pursue litigation done.
There's also some legal notice. At least TMZ was reporting. I didn't see it much beyond.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. My bad. I didn't know they started talking about it so early. All right. Now, let me go ahead and show it.
Now from Washington, D.C. So, Daniel, let's talk about this. A possible lawsuit or lawsuits from Nolan Wells' family to the friends and local officials?
Yeah, that's right, Don. So Nolan Wells' parents, you'll see it right here, they filed a notice of intent to pursue litigation against local officials and Nolan Wells' friends. They sent notices to the family members, and basically the notices said, you need to preserve all physical evidence in this case, any evidence that you have that's on a cell phone, videos, pictures, any data that's on your cell phone, any clothes that you were wearing that day, every physical or any other piece of evidence, preserve it, because we may sue you. And what we don't want to happen is that those lawsuits come and then you say, oh, I threw that away, or, oh, I deleted that, I don't have it. And so this is a protective measure for the family. It's just a notice of intent to pursue litigation. So they're not actually doing it yet, but it is that kind of pre-step just to make sure evidence is preserved. Now, that is my understanding as a
I think child is what is described as a litigation hold.
There you go.
It just means that you need to hold all information, all communications, all devices, everything. A litigation hold is an official order that tells a company and its workers or individuals to stop destroying documents and electronic data because a lawsuit is expected or happening. It protects potential evidence so it is not lost. That's what a litigation hold is. And so
let's drop a
obviously they ordered an independent autopsy. They wanted an independent investigation, which became a joint investigation. So obviously the parents feel that something is amiss here, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it. And that may take a lawsuit in order for them to do it, Daniel.
Well, and Don, they're not the only ones preparing. I mean, we talked about this with the team. I spent my day trying to reach out to the state medical examiner's office where the autopsy was conducted, where Nolan's autopsy was conducted, to the Jackson County coroner's office, the district attorney's office. I reached out to the independent autopsy, the doctor who conducted the independent autopsy here in Washington, and I haven't heard back from anybody. And so that just tells me, I think everyone is holding all of the information that they have close, because they know that if the family or anybody lawsuits start coming, they don't want to be the one that talk to the media and then something gets used against them. So I find it very frustrating as a journalist, because I know that a lot of our viewers do too, because we just want more information. Trust me, we're trying to get it to you. But again, I understand the legal side of this, where they don't want to talk to us and then have it be used against them.
Which makes sense. But if them folks, they delete any evidence, they do anything, we're going to be on them like white on rice. That's so to the Nolan Wells family for making a huge decision and sending them goddamn potential letters of intent to sue. Potential. It's only potential. If y'all go through the investigation, you do things the right way, we ain't going to have to do all that. But anyway, Secret Service Sam, he reported on the same thing. Let's hear a different opinion about what happened and what was said.
For a Nolan Xavier Wells update, this just in, Christine Walmsley has just sent out subpoenas to TikTok, to Instagram, to Meta, Facebook. They're obviously owned by Meta, Instagram, and Facebook, to get Nolan's social media accounts. We can open it up, see messages, possibly maybe get deleted items that maybe some people might have deleted on the phone. Allegedly, we don't know. But I just wish her the best. I want nothing but justice for this family. And this is huge that she is taking action to get into those social media accounts, to get any bit of info.
Let's drop a bomb before he finished for Mama Wells. God damn, we gonna get some justice. And it smells so good. Because this is key, y'all. This is key. Because it holds every company, every single investigator that's involved, every single sheriff, coroner, autopsy examiner holds all y'all fuckers accountable. And if it comes out that you tampered with any evidence, you got rid of anything, you get your ass sued. So at least, it's not justice. They'll never bring their son back, but it's small victories, bro. You'll never get their son back. They'll never get their son back, bro. But at the end of the day, small victories.
Information that could lead us to clues of what happened that day. Who knows if he had videos that he took that were erased, and hopefully we'll be able to get information on that. Let's hope she subpoenas Snapchat as well, because we know from what she said in his phone that the 24 hours of when he was missing and on Horn Island, there is no snaps. And she said that is not like him to not have been taking videos during that day. Secret Service.
Yeah. So that's why that is huge. Because at the end of the day, they must get that information. It's a part of an investigation. They're doing their own independent investigation as the Jackson County Sheriff Department is doing their investigation. So they are looking for answers, and they're doing it the proper way, the right way. So by them subpoenaing, oh my goodness, them basically sending a letter to those companies, that's what subpoena means. I don't know why I just butchered the word like that, but y'all get what I've tried to say. You understand it, right? You understand it. But yeah, man. Yeah. Now, with that being said, we have to go to our bedroom lawyer. I missed you, girl. What do you got to say? Any updates for us? Because my people got to know. God, production. Oh, my goodness. Why I always got to do this myself. I tell y'all which video. Anyway, let's get to the video.
Based on the audio, we have to assume that he died right there on that boat. And then we have to figure out who made up this basketball story and why. And why would Bart's pool have a basketball goal in it? And all this stuff with Bart start coming out. And it's like, where did they bring him to Bart's house? And they were, doing some more, you know what I'm saying? Doing some more shit to him about a fucking basketball goal. And somebody saw that? Did that just completely not happen? Or, it appeared to me like they knew immediately that he was not alive on the boat. Like they were and even the part that they released, you can hear him going, Nolan. That's what they released, dog. That's we didn't just pull this out of our asshole. So
that's a fact. Because the Mississippi Department of Marine Services, they released this goddamn audio. They released the whole entire tow truck audio. This is the audio. If you go type it in on your page, on your internet server right now. Type in the Mississippi Marine Resources, and they released this audio. So how we get the audio? Y'all mad at people enhancing it and doing all these other things. Well, guess what? They enhancing it because y'all released it. You released it to the public. What else are we supposed to do with it? Oh, that's just the cops will take care of it. No, because the cops ain't saying nothing. So that's why the internet detectives, we outside.
Let's talk about what damn it Bart means. Objectively, just looking at all the ways to interpret that. Objectively. If we don't have a neck, damn it Bart means absolutely nothing. That might mean Bart didn't pull the plug quick enough. Okay? That is just not the best thing about damn it Bart proves that Bart was there. That's the best thing about that. Because the way that could be interpreted, it doesn't mean that he, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at that objectively. And the best thing about that piece of evidence is the fact that his name is mentioned. So he can't say that he's already impeached himself by saying he was in Wyoming. So this proves he was there even more. Let's talk about what damn it Bart.
That's facts. Because if you remember with the audio, do y'all want me to continue to play the Nancy Grace audio? Because Nancy Grace, she had the most crystal clear audio. Nancy Grace ain't playing this audio if she didn't think it was from a legitimate and a reliable source. Nancy Grace, at the end of the day, she's legit, y'all. She cracks case after case and talks about case after case. And you can hear in the audio, you can hear someone say, damn it, Bart. So if we're replaying the audio, right? If we're playing it back a second time, let's listen to damn it, Bart. Let's listen to when we heard damn it, Bart. Was it in this audio? Let's see.
Fine, please.
No. And this is the audio from the Mississippi Department of Marine Services. Yes, I think Nancy did get an enhanced version because now we can hear clearly and it's no real background noise. But I trust Nancy. I don't think she would have enhanced it that much.
Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
God damn it! I thought they was gonna go to the damn it Bart part. But anyway, we'll figure out what damn it Bart means. We gonna figure out what damn it Bart means. But anyway, next video. My bad, y'all.
Right. So remember, to hit them with a second degree, we got to prove they were doing something dangerous. So Pablo said you have underage kids drinking and operating a vessel. Okay. So, all right, we know that. We think we know that, but how do we actually prove that? And here's where we can start using their evidence against them. So if Nolan was drinking heavily, he didn't have a boat. So how the fuck did he get, who the fuck brought him out there with alcohol? That means y'all's all was drinking heavily, correct? And y'all, and so all right, yeah, he probably was drinking heavily, just like the rest of y'all motherfuckers, and that's why y'all gonna get a second degree charge now, because you was operating a vessel underage and drunk. All right,
and drunk. That's a fact. And if you haven't saw, this is one thing that I wanted to report earlier, but Officer Tatum, race. Yeah, I can say a lot about this guy. Race baiter. You're the real race baiter. He came out and he said, breaking, exclusive images shared of the Trident boat being towed by another boat after viral sea tow dispatch call. Nolan Wells is confirmed not to be on board. These images were taken from the boat towing them. So if this is a video from the boat towing, why y'all just randomly taking a video of y'all towing y'all homie? So we know Bart came over because Warren said that Bart came over and helped them with the tow. These are the pictures. That's how calm you look. He just grabbing drinks out the cooler, kicking it. Does this not look like a staged goddamn picture? Are we fucking dumb? Do y'all really think we are that dumb? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Excuse my language, bro. But come on. Are we seriously being real? Are we being for real right now? So these are the photos. They said, hey, no one's not on the boat. No one's not on the boat. These are the pictures of us, us towing them. Y'all all are wearing different colored shorts, too, from the picture that we saw of that same day. Because if that's Wyatt, right, wasn't Wyatt in the picture? Right? If we go back, see, they think they slick. Nolan Wells. Boat. If we go back to that picture, you see how they think we dumb, dog? Now, y'all look at these goddamn shorts. Y'all look at these shorts. And you tell me if you see any of these guys on that boat and wearing these same shorts. That's supposedly a picture, right? This is July 4th. This is that day. You can see the bees. This picture was taken July 4th. This is the viral picture that said, oh, Nolan Wells was on a boat with 3 white guys and he was the only black guy that didn't come back. This is that picture, right? Right. So which one's Wyatt? That's my question. Because Wyatt was the one who made the call. So now if we go back, if we compare this picture to this picture, Do y'all spot anybody wearing those same goddamn swim trunks? I'm asking for a friend. In this video. Hold on. Those blue ones? Hold on. Maybe. Who's out the rope? Huh? Was he smart? Was he smart and wore the same shorts? Do y'all see anybody with these shorts on that goddamn boat picture? I think maybe 1, potentially 2. But this doesn't look like the same guy. Let's look at this blue short guy. It's another guy with blue shorts on there, right? That guy had long hair. This guy don't have long hair, but he has blue shorts on. But his hair ain't Baz. See? Do we look like Boo Boo the Food? Maybe these shorts. I think those match, right? But what about everybody else? Shorts. Maybe those shorts match. Maybe. But he just casually on the phone. He just casually going to get drinks. And if he on the phone, if this is really a phone call, I thought the boat was sinking. And if the boat really sinking, how is he casually just getting drinks? So Officer Tatum, I think I see a couple discrepancies, my guy. Because what the fuck do we look like? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting lit. I'm sorry. I'm getting lit. Just because this is kind of pissing me off. Because Officer Tatum, you posted this. Are we stupid? Are we dumb? Or are we slow? Chat, let me know. I got some ghost watchers out there. Please don't be a ghost watcher. Let me know in the chat. Am I tripping? Or do y'all see anybody in this picture or in this video with these shorts on? Because these are the guys he rode out there with, right? These are the guys that was on Wide's boat. So if they're on Wide's boat, shouldn't they have the same shorts on that they were partying with that day? I'm just saying. Let's make it make sense, right? Interesting. Interesting. And even if you say these orange shorts, well, those got designs on it, right? These orange shorts, they got designs on it. Interesting. Do we look fucking dumb? Y'all ass is grass. I just wanted to point that out, man, because that was kind of pissing me off. And once again, bro. Once again. Our Bitworm lawyer, though, she's on the case. Let's hear what she had to say.
Yes, what 18-year-old kid goes out to Horn Island on 4th of July to stay sober? That's not what they're going out there drinking. That's what they're doing out there. That's all there is to do out there. So what do you mean he was drinking heavily? Duh, everybody was. That's why y'all fucking hit him too hard or whatever. Y'all don't even know what the fuck's going on because y'all was all fucking blitzed out of y'all's minds. Hey, dickheads,
y'all was on cocaine. Nolan might have been on cocaine. Maybe Nolan, he hanging out with the white boys. He want to try something new, as Officer Tatum said. But Officer Tatum, I don't believe shit you say now. Your credibility is shot with me. Shot. Even with those interviews. But now you saying that potentially he had cocaine in the system. Do I got to play that video from earlier? Did y'all see that?
The information that I heard, we'll get to Miss Rachel. But the races, when the toxicology results come out. But people are messaging me and telling me that there is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved. And there's a particular person whom I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first. And then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine. And someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time.
You gotta be fucking shitting me, bro. Even watching this back the second time, you don't even look like you believable. But Nolan was. Let me know, chat. Y'all think Nolan was doing cocaine? Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Because Tatum seems to think so. And your reliable sources, what, his fucking friends? His friends or his fake friends? Oh, okay.
18-year-old kid goes out to Horn Island on 4th of July to stay sober. That's not what they're going out there drinking. That's what they're doing out there. That's all there is to do out there. So what do you mean he was drinking heavily? Duh, everybody was. That's why y'all fucking hit him too hard or whatever. Y'all don't even know what the fuck's going on.
But if we're being honest, though, Nolan supposedly had football the next Monday, right? Cocaine, bro. See, that's let me know, chat. Hey, let me know. Y'all believe Mr. Tatum? Y'all think he was out there snoring that shit? Excuse my French, but I gotta say what it is. Was he out there? Because I'm just saying. I don't know too many athletes who look like myself who got this, the melanin, that melatonin, how you say it? The melanin, who got that melanin in their skin who do that. I'm not saying he couldn't do it. You know, he came in with his white friends on the boat that day. He could have did it, but me being an athlete, it's the 4th of July. It's Saturday. I go to camp on Monday. Am I going to try cocaine for the first time? Or maybe it's not his first time trying cocaine. I don't know, but that's a tough one to believe, my guy. Let's get back to my bedroom lawyer.
It's like when I heard about what all those playmates were doing inside of the mansion. And I was like, well, this whole time I thought they were just studying Mandarin up in there. That's like when I heard about what all those playmates were doing inside of the mansion. And I was like, well, this whole time I thought they were just studying Mandarin up in there.
So she's talking about with them saying that they were drinking on the island, like comparing it to the Playboy Mansion, that it came out that they was, doing a dirty with, obviously. Do I really got to explain this analogy? I know some of y'all might be young, you might be older, but y'all get the point. All right. She said, I thought they were studying Mandarin. All right, let's get to the next one. My bad, y'all. Just can't make this up.
If Wyatt knew what Bart did and can prove to us what damn it Bart means, then Wyatt can go free because we know what damn it Bart means. That's the only way we're going to be able to prove what damn it Bart means unless we find the other people on the boat, track them down, and see if they're going to flip. So go for it. Now, if Wyatt knew what Bart did and can prove to us what damn it Bart means, then Wyatt can go free. Because
we ain't letting Wyatt go free. Not happening. But I appreciate your take, though. I appreciate your take. Wyatt can't go free. We need all of them. All their asses are grass. But now, you're right. We must use their evidence against them at this point. All right, a couple more videos of my gal. Then we're going to move on to one more important video. Then we can call it a night.
All got to do, like I said, start using their evidence against them. Officer Goofy released the picture of the boat. Go find out everyone on the boat right there. You got it from Officer Goofy again. All right? Hey, guess what? Nolan's probably not visible from the angle. Now you can at least see everybody on the fucking boat. So go round that up right now from Officer Goofy. Now y'all got to do, like I said, start using their evidence against them. Officer Goofy released the picture of the boat. Go find out everyone on the boat right there. You got it from Officer Goofy again. All right? Hey, guess what? Nolan's probably
not visible, but we know if this was the same. Ooh, see, I like the way she think. I didn't even think of that. Because if we being honest, if we looking at this video is supposedly that tow from that day. It's supposedly the tow from July 4th. First of all, y'all in different shorts. Second of all, I see 2 females on there. I see one female right there, one female right there. Don't let that be Katie. Woo! Don't let that be Katie on that goddamn boat. Don't let it be Katie on a boat. God, please don't let it be Katie on a boat. I don't know why that just came to my head, but I'm just saying. I ain't accusing nobody of nothing. I ain't saying. But who all's on this boat? Do y'all see their faces? Do you know their faces? Who's all on the boat? Who's all on the boat? She makes a hell of a point. She makes a hell of a point. Because now it is time to use their evidence that they're releasing against them. Because now we got more people on the boat thanks to that photo. I think, Officer Tatum, you might be working for us undercover. Hold on, my guy. Because you might just be working for us. Because you're saying, they are saying that he's definitely, he was drinking, he had cocaine in the system. You're interviewing Warren, you're interviewing his friend Tristan, you're interviewing everybody. And then you released this video of everybody that was on the boat. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one person right there, right behind him. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 people on the boat. Is this somebody right here, though? Oh, no. Interesting. But now we at least can figure out who all was on the boat. Y'all smart, dumb mother.
Very least, Officer Goofy give us more people to charge and press, because we don't even know when that picture was taken. After y'all dumped him off the boat, how the fuck we know when that picture was taken? But we know who's on the fucking boat now, thanks to goofball head ass. At the very least, Officer Goofy give us more people to charge and press, because we don't even know when that picture was taken. After y'all dumped him off the boat, how the fuck we know when that picture was taken? But we know who's on the fucking boat now, thanks to goofball head ass.
She makes a hell of a point, does she not? Because now we know who all was on a boat. So if Nolan really wasn't on a boat, let's start interviewing them. Let's start interviewing them. Man. Yeah, dog. Yeah. I smell something in the water. Once again, after that audio came out, I would have been on the next thing smoking to the first state with no extradition. Not even lying to you. I would have said, yes, I am guilty and I'm gone. But we're going to see how deep this cover-up going to go. If it is allegedly a cover-up, we don't know. Right? We don't know. We don't know, team. We don't know. Just speculating, right? Right? Just throwing darts at the wall. Man, oh man. God bless them all, though. God bless them all. But I do want to show this video, though, because my guy made a hell of a point about TMZ. A hell of a point about TMZ. A hell of a point about TMZ, and we're going to end on this video. All right, y'all? We're going to end right here because we know which side TMZ on. Oh, production. One more time. I promise you somebody getting fat tonight. Somebody get fat.
I've been giving y'all the side eye throughout this entire Nolan Wells investigation because of how y'all been reporting things. But now I'm starting to notice a pattern. Is y'all cool?
What doesn't make sense is why would they, if they had something, if there'd been foul play and something happened to Nolan or someone did something to Nolan on that boat, why would they be talking about it loudly while he's on the phone to a tow company?
Because they didn't know he was on a phone originally at the start of it.
Because they were all drinking and their prefrontal cortex are not fully developed, so they make bad decisions. I mean, isn't that obvious? But why are you not questioning why the tow was canceled? Why are you not questioning why they went to Fort Bayou before they went back to the original place where they left? And then back to Fort Bayou. Why are you not questioning why none of his white friends who we last saw him with have come forward besides one? Those are the questions we need to be asking. I also think it's weird that y'all still have a post up about the Cajun Navy accusing Ben Crump of lying, but you haven't put out the evidence that shows that they, in fact, did say that Nolan Wells was found fully clothed. And it's available, readily available.
Todd Terrell Nolan was face down, still fully clothed on the beach. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. He was face down, which would have meant that he drowned. Now, when we say he was found fully clothed on the beach, it was in the same vicinity of where he possibly drowned.
Now, I'm also concerned about why y'all are playing the audio from the emergency call with music in the background when it is clearly available without any music, so people can actually hear what is being said and make their own decision about it.
Even with TMZ releasing that, you still hear somebody say, "Oh my God." Why are they saying, "Oh my God"?
So assistance, Vicky.
And this is outside of the fact that y'all keep pushing headlines that say that he drowned and there's no cause of death that has been made clear to us. Also, y'all keep putting Black people in front of us to talk about the loss of Nolan Wells, as though that's supposed to change the way that we see what is happening, especially someone who is a known antagonist to the Black community and we all know is biased. I'm just confused. I'm asking questions. Now, I wasn't going to say nothing at first because I was choosing to give the benefit of the doubt. But now that I'm continuing to look through all of the details that you all have put out so far, I'm questioning why you're reporting it this way. Now, TMZ, I've been giving y'all the side eye throughout this entire Nolan Wells investigation because of how y'all been reporting things. But now...
Nah, we definitely continue to get them side eye. TMZ, we know which side you on, baby. All right, I knew that I said that was going to be my last video. But let's go ahead and watch this video. It's somebody y'all might have seen reacting to some of this. But he makes a good point. Last video. I know I said the last one was the last one, but I just can't help myself because it's too much that we got to continue to uncover.
Nolan wasn't fully Black. Nolan's mixed.
Wait. Sir, you have the audacity? You have the audacity, sir? You have the audacity, sir?
What does that mean? Why does that matter?
Nah, he ain't say nah. He ain't say what I thought he said. He He ain't say what I thought he said. Nah, he ain't say that. Nah.
That's not a surprise because everybody didn't love Nolan, especially around here.
Nah, he ain't say that.
So for people to repost that, they know Nolan. I mean, they know he did not have one hateful thing in his heart. And racism, no. That was a shock. That was a complete shock from his mom and from his...
Yo, the mom and the dad who got backlash themselves, by the way, which was unfair to them. They got backlash for saying, this is not about race. The mom and the dad have went out of their way and says, we just want answers for our son, bro. We don't think it's about race. Some things are just not making sense and we just want answers. And you come on Officer Tatum's podcast to call his parents racist and say you are shocked that they will make it about race and they will bring racism. You are calling your dead friend's mom racist in this climate?
Somebody said it.
Bro, y'all was not friends, bro. Y'all was not friends. Yo, I refuse to believe this was Nolan friend. Bro, this not Nolan friend, bro. Yo, if that was your homie, you'll want to protect his mom like his mom was your mom. You'll want to make sure his mom is straight. Bro, you wouldn't be lying on his mom like this, bro. His mom said this ain't about race. His dad said this ain't about race. But now you're calling him racist? What?
His stepdad. Like, that's a shock. That's That's an utter shock because it's like, first off, I don't know how to.
Yo, and by the way, when the mom and the dad talked about Nolan, the dad says my son. The mom said his dad. They've never said stepdad. They've never said biological. This is my son. You are the only one bringing up stepdad. Bro, you are out of term right now, bro. You out of line. And I'll be real, bro. I think it's the other side that's speaking through you because
He said it. He said a lot of things. Not me. I'm just a bystander. But yeah, I think y'all at the end of the day, like I always say, man, it's a lot of things that still need to come out about this case. And it's a lot of things that will eventually come out with this case. But with the lies, yes, we know he was drinking, but everybody was drinking. If you're going on a deserted island with nothing around it, I think I might have me a sip or two too. But I think I'm above the legal age, so I can say that. But if I'm them, I'm kicking. I'm living my best life. So what does it matter if he was drinking? What if it matters if he sniffed a little cocaine, as y'all say? But I don't believe that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. But you never know. You never know. But dog, every single day, it seems like we learn something crazier and crazier about this story. Right? Are y'all with me? Every single day, it seems like something new just peeks its little head around the corner and says, don't forget about this part. Don't forget about this. Right? So, I don't know, man. What do y'all think happened to Nolan Wells? Now that you have all the facts, you have all the information, you have everything that's been put out and everything that's been said, I want to know, what do y'all think really happened to Nolan Wells? Because this is kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. I honestly just want the truth. And I do got another video for y'all, but I gotta have somebody in the chat let me know if they want me to play it. If you want to watch this next video of some actual good conversation, some actual good back and forth about the audio and about just the case in general, I will play it. But I gotta have somebody let me know in the chat. I gotta have somebody hit that like button. I gotta have somebody hit that subscribe button. I gotta have somebody say something to me and say, yes, we need more. Because if y'all need more, I got more. If y'all need more, I got more. So, y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. What's really going on with this case? What really happened? I'm asking for a friend. Because now I'm curious. Now I really want to know. All right, so since I had at least one person actually comment over on Twitch, I appreciate you. Let's go ahead. Watch the next video. Last video, for real.
And this is the one that Daniva's talking about. Listen.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn. And,
Okay, so the rest is, the call. The bilge pump is going out. All right, so that one is.
Yeah, we know the rest.
Okay, so who should go first? Reese gone.
Well, there's so much disinformation and misinformation that spreads. There's so much unsourced material. So when I did see the audio engineer who worked on that video, I felt a lot more comfortable reacting to it because I saw it being sourced as from the Mississippi department, which it wasn't. It was enhanced audio. So I think that if you take the credibility of the woman and explain her process as she explained, she's an award-winning audio producer, audio engineer. then I think that you have to really seriously take this as evidence that perhaps foul play was involved. It didn't say exactly how something may have happened to Nolan, but it certainly seems that he was on that boat, if you believe that audio. And so it's incredibly disturbing, but it does paint a picture into something may have happened. I mean, the words cover up were specifically used in that. And so I hope that, you know, that the authorities are looking at this. There's a grand jury, and I hope that we get some answers.
Clay?
Well, first and foremost, Daniel, I hope you did your Tina Marie research. I sent you Tina Marie link, so I'm hoping that you did. I hope you did your resurch now so we can make a reference.
You two this weekend.
Okay, I hope you did your Tina. I had to give him a little bit of homework. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah, let me.
A distraction, and we have to focus on the evidence. Do I have that? You were saying that's more so a distraction, and we have to for the kids who were there. You were saying that focusing on the friends or the kids who were there, you were saying that's more so a distraction, and we have to focus on the evidence. Do I have that right? Is that what you said, more or less? Okay.
And the investigation and the investigators. Yeah.
Gotcha. But I disagree with that. We got to focus on the friends. We got to focus on the people who were there. That is the heart of the evidence. That is the heart of any true crime series. Who are the people who were there? What's happening? What is this cover up? I mean, it reminds me of when Trayvon Martin was killed. I remember the audio came out of his shooting, and people were trying to decipher everything, and he was on the phone with one of his friends. I mean, they grilled her. I mean, we heard bizarre audio with George Zimmerman. I mean, from what I heard, I want to see a deeper investigation. Is an arrest possible? I don't know. But the idea that we're going to put the people who may have saw him last when he was alive to put that on the back burner, I don't think that's a good idea, brother. I don't think it is. Now, I understand what you're saying. We can't jump the gun. I'm not doing that. But from what I heard in the audio, I ain't jumping guns. The gun is pretty loud. Yeah. So I just want to be clear that the last people who saw him alive, they have the answers. And I want to see a proper investigation. And here we are again, where once again, people who are not a part of the investigation, and maybe there are things that have come up on the low that we don't know about. Fair enough. You know, we're not right there every millisecond. But here we are again, people who are not even part of the investigation, revealing information that it appears, could be wrong, that the folks in Mississippi have not figured out. And this goes to the heart of Black journalism, Black media. We're going to figure it out.
Let's drop a bomb for us. Let's drop another bomb for us. Is this one thing about the internet you can't run from it, you can't hide from it unless you just stop getting on it. And if you're getting on it, guess what? You're going to see us. That is such a fact. That is such a fact. But I did want to show y'all this. All right. That Nolan Wells audio dropping. The coroner's not sending over the throat in the autopsy. And them originally calling this a drowning needs to keep being reiterated. And the fact that they had his phone. Just want to throw that out there. A little tidbit.
So I want to really lean into this whole idea that focusing on the kids is the wrong angle. I mean, they're going up there, pop dipping and spinning with that guy, freaking officer, whatever, doing interviews, going to the scene where he was last alive, going there. They are the very heart of this investigation, of what happened. I mean, have they been, maybe I missed it in all the news. Have they been interrogated? Have they been, I've seen people brought in on lesser accusations. So not only is it the lack of transparency, it appears, I could be wrong, protection. And that's frustrating.
But can I add on to that point? This isn't a persecution. It's an investigation. In the investigation, you turn over every corner. And that's what is happening. And it seems like the more thorough investigating is happening with half of the information, with the external information. And these guys are putting themselves on Front Street. If you don't want to be part of the story, don't be part of the fucking story. What are you doing on Brandon Tatum's show?
Lord
you
have mercy.
lawyered up immediately, which was actually smart to do. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I want black people to lawyer up quickly too. Okay, even if it's your friend, if it's your cousin, if it's whoever the fuck, because y'all get thrown in jail for shit you didn't do all the time because you don't lawyer up. So I ain't even got a problem with the fact that they lawyered up, but then they went from lawyering up to now you kicking it and kicking on podcasts and shit. You wanted to be part of the story. Let's go. All right, now let's talk about this audio. What happened? Tell us. So that if you are on record publicly, like you appear to want to be. And shoot, they might be MAGA influencers after all this, which is the messed up part about it.
They probably will be MAGA influences after all this. But real quick, I'm about to shut this down and then I'm gonna pop right back up. So if you see the feed stop, I'm sorry, but I gotta do it because I gotta do it. All right, I'll be right back.